What's going on with you?
Yo, another day in the lab, baby. So it's always a good day.
Oh,
it's always a good day when we in the lab. You want policing to be better in your communities? The best policing that you can that can happen in any community are people that's actually from the community. And that
once again, Rick, host BNY podcast, now known as What Effing Week with BNY Dev. How you feeling, man?
I'm in here.
What's good, comment section?
Yeah.
Do we drag our people down when sometimes they don't deserve it? For sure, absolutely. In this situation, this man deserves every single dragging that we can do, because this is not an example of us.
But you got the angles. You got the knowledge of the game, bro.
This is where you're getting at, the IQ.
Down. Like, he's telling you what's going on. How he was a bad husband. How he was just doing things his way. He's apologizing to his wife, like, yo.
Pat ourselves on the back for that one, because if you ain't give yourself awards, I mean, who is?
Yeah, no boy.
Hey. What's going on, Bonaparte?
Oh, shout out to Bonaparte.
Charles County, how you doing?
We in here.
Hold up. 2 cams, 3 cams, roll on.
We all rolling.
We live, baby.
Cams up, we in here. We live.
Got Darryl Kinsey in the building tonight.
Welcome.
I could give him a round of applause for the audience out there.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. We're, hey, back to back, baby.
A little 3-day stretch is going to be, three shows in 4 days.
Man, 3 games in 4 days. Feel like an NBA player.
Hey, exactly. Hey, putting in that work.
Yeah, shout out to you missing the playoffs for this one too as well. We're catching the fourth quarter. Let's go around the room. Obviously, I saw you yesterday, but anything interesting happened today, Dev?
No. By God's grace and mercy, I woke up today. That's the most interesting thing that happened to me. Woke up, I'm in good health, and I'm back in the lab, baby. So what more can I complain about? And we got another guest lined up. So
another guest.
It's a good day.
Yeah, Darryl, what's going on with you, man?
I'm doing good. Nice to see you guys. Nice to finally get here. I know we had some scheduling conflicts, but we're here now. I had a pretty interesting day myself. We had some dignitaries here in town earlier today with the Southern Maryland Rapid Transit announcement. Some money coming in from the federal level to help get that project going. And then just got back from a school board work session. They're working on trying to get the new eligibility policy going for the kids going for next school year. It's going to take a little bit more time to hash that out. They're almost there, but there's a couple of sticking points they're trying to get through before they can finally have the final vote and sign off on things. So it's been an exciting day today, well, at least on my side of things.
We're going to get into it. Absolutely.
How about you, fool? What's going on?
Man, it was went to work, came home, canceled practice. Only to find out it didn't rain at all. And I was like, man.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Sprinkled.
I'm trying to look for it. I'm looking at the radar. I'm like, oh, there's a thunderstorm right there. It's a yellow, red, whole bunch of dark green too as well. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as I cancel practice, it's like the area right here. It just goes over.
Just
over
opened
top.
up. Like,
I'm like, it is what it is, though. It is what it is. But yeah, day's been good, man. Day's been good. Can't complain. Just glad to be here. And officially, thank you for rescheduling too as well.
Of course.
Yeah, we ended up going live that night with the whole thing with Bolden Wilkes. So we still made a productive night as far as BNY. Yeah. So no, but definitely glad to have this. So before we get started, let's do this properly. Dev, you wouldn't mind clean up the house for us a little bit?
Absolutely. Look, I did it yesterday, following up again today, but y'all already know what's coming if you've been watching the show. If you're new to it tonight, you'll understand in a moment. All we ask is for all of our contributors and all our watchers and everyone that likes the show and all that good stuff, make sure y'all give us that Showtime love. And what that Showtime love means is, I'm going to break it down for you real quick, real simple. Show, you like the show, love the show, hate the show, watch the show, whatever the case is. take the time to like, share, subscribe, comment, give us y'all feedback. If you love us, let us know you love us. If you don't like us, let us know why you don't like us. Y'all feedback really drives the show, and me and Rick like to tweak the formula to dictate and try to. We can't make everybody happy, but we do what we can to kind of keep the public and everyone engaged. So make sure y'all give us that Showtime love, and that's really all we ask at this point.
So just always fall back on that one. If you're watching the show right now, just hit us with a like.
Yeah.
Give us a share. It costs nothing. We're out here trying to run up the donations. We got sponsors for that too as well. This is for the people. So, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing?
What's going on, Fantasha? Welcome.
Love to see it. Love to see it. Absolutely. So yeah, get your comments in here. You got questions for Darryl, questions for us. That's what we're here to do. Just build the bridge between us and Charles County. So
right.
So without Deborah, what's going on? Talked to Deborah earlier today. Had very nice comments about the show. Definitely appreciate it.
Just accepted your friend request, by the way. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate that, Deborah.
Yeah, very, 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 very bright woman as far as economics when it comes to Charles County too as well. So,
okay.
Yeah, definitely great conversations we've had. So this is what we're gonna do tonight. A couple of things, Darryl. I want to get your background. I want to get some things Southern Maryland too as well. Your experiences here, and then obviously you're working the races too as well. The political election. So we're gonna get some background of that. We're gonna get some thoughts on some of the races too as well, as far as me and Dev, and we'll go from there. It's gonna be a fun night. So let's get to it. Adam, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Adam? That's actually one of my friends from during the winter time. I do commentary for this league called Saturday Night Hydroplane League, and he's actually one of the drivers in our second division there. So I'm actually surprised he popped on. He's actually from England, so I'm actually really surprised he's actually awake. But Adam's usually a night owl over there. So Thank you so much for joining from across the pond, Adam. I apprate that.
Welcome.
England, what's it like 2 a.m. over there?
It's late.
It's late. Yeah. It's late. Hey, much appreciative.
hey, shout out to the Midnight Oil.
Worldwide.
Yeah. Okay. Who would have thought? Us.
Okay.
Chris Lehman on YouTube. Oh, by the way, yes. YouTube, 2:11 a.m.
Yeah.
YouTube is up. BNY Network. Up. Yeah, BNY Network, Charles County MD. Follow us over there. One time for the YouTube. Absolutely. We are live officially on YouTube. Chris, thank you very much for that comment. Did y'all have any comments on the race in Texas over the weekend?
I do, but we're going to be here all night if I get into that. If there's one thing in my wheelhouse, and that's probably because ADHD, it's racing. But the short version of what happened in the All-Star race was the race was pretty good until the last 200 feet, and then NASCAR got in its way again. And that's just about as far as I'm going to go without taking over the show. So
obviously, you have a podcast on racing too as well. So
yeah, the Extra Mile.
Yeah, plug that real quick.
So that's the Extra Mile. That's on IE Sports Radio. You can hear that on Spreaker.com. That goes live on Thursdays at 8 p.m. It's actually a live show similar to this, just in an audio format. So you can join the chat there, ask us questions, give comments. It's a lot of fun. We primarily talk NASCAR, IndyCar, and Formula One. We also branch out to some other motorsports as it suits us, like endurance racing, drag racing, recently hydroplane racing, as I've gotten, and that's boats on the water, as I've gotten in with some of those guys in the hydroplane community. So we talk a wide variety of racing there, and it's just my little pet project, and it's my little oasis, and it's a lot of fun every Thursday.
Hey, trust me, I know about a pet project, getting away from it all, doing audio, as podcasters and
facts.
Yeah, on the front lines of Charles County ourselves, we understand that. So,
yes.
Absolutely. So if you could, please give us a little bit of background on yourself, Darryl. Let's go from there. Start from the top.
All right. Well, I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. Currently live in Bowie, Maryland.
Hey.
Went to college in 2000. I always tell the story like this as far as my education. I went to college 2008, Messiah College in Nowhere, Pennsylvania. I thought I was ready to go away for college. I was not. Things did not go the way they should have. I ended up coming back. Went to Prince George's County Community College.
What year?
2009.
I was there in 2009.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, small world.
Facts.
Stayed there way too long. Got out of there. Went to Bowie State. Got a much better situation. Got with a lot of great people over there in the communications program. Got to do some commentary for basketball, which was a lot of fun. Got to call some CIAA championship games on the for the women's side, and some tournament games on the men's side.
Nice.
Graduated with my bachelor's in broadcast journalism in 2018. Took a break, went over to, between there, sorry, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, worked at WBGR, which is a little small internet radio station in Greenbelt, Maryland. Then I went over to College Park for my master's in multi-platform journalism. Took much less time than I did with my bachelor's getting that degree. So I got my degree in 2021 during the height of our little pandemic situation that we've been having. And the day I graduated was also the day I got this job at Southern Maryland News. And I've been here ever since. I've enjoyed it. And I just praise God because I was in a bad place in 2008 or 2009, and I'm in a much better place in my life now.
Hey,
that's how I look at it.
Round of applause for that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Love to hear it.
Comeback story.
Yes.
We got comments here. We get back to that in a second right here, Darryl. Leftwich. What's going on with you, Mr. Leftwich? It's late here, damn it. But you're here, though.
Hey, but
you're here. You're here. Hey, yeah. Amanda, how you doing? Hey, BNY. Hey, you. How you doing? Oh, Vantosh, we do a lot of race in Charles County. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, yeah, let's go. Let's get into it. So, let's, I know we're going to go to election cycle, but let's start with what happened tonight. So, obviously, you were a little bit late. Obviously, no problem with that at all. But what is you kind of alluded to it. Let's talk on that some. Let's start from the top, from your day.
Okay. Well, today we started off this afternoon. I was over at the government administration building. Local, state, and federal leaders were down here to talk about $5 million in federal funding, federal earmarks given for the Southern Maryland Rapid Transit Program. And for those of you that don't know, that is the program that's trying to create a light rail from here from White Plains all the way up to the Branch Avenue Metro Station. And it's no secret why they're trying to do that, to alleviate the worst traffic probably in the county, or probably in the state of Maryland, as most county residents would put it, that 301 to 5 interchange. It's supposed to go up 301, go past, then go into Prince George's County, go into Joint Base Andrews, or go near Joint Base Andrews, and end at Branch Avenue.
Can I pause real quick?
Yes.
Where in White Plains?
I have the map is sitting on my desk. It didn't really say, but it basically follows 301 all the way down. So I
take that to work.
Yeah, that part.
Facts.
Yeah, that part is still under consideration of where they're going to put it. We're still a long way away from putting any shovels in the ground. The money is set to do an environmental study and also the final design phases of the project. It is actually a part of a House bill. I believe it was 414, that really puts the state of Maryland in a position where now they have to start putting skin in the game too. The bill was contingent on getting this federal money that was, it was already been given, but that they were celebrating today. And now Maryland will be matching that federal money with $5 million to help continue the final run of that project to get these steps finished when it comes to the design and the environmental studies. I just saw a question there from Pascal Small. It has been taking a long time, and it just comes down to money. They've had to find the funds for the project. And I know Gary Hodge, who was the MC for the event, former commissioner for Charles County, it's been his pet project for 34 years. He's very passionate about it, and he's been working hard. And I believe, as I said in a picture I took on Twitter, you can probably see his smile from space seeing that this money came in.
Let's look at these comments. Von Tasha, Waldorf has the worst community in the nation. We were working on this for nearly 35 years, like you said, with the former commissioner. Deborah, it's all east of 301 using the row of the existing rail line.
Yep.
Row, as in right of way. By the time we get it, cars will be flying Pascal. I mean, you said the money's coming in now. How soon do you think, in your opinion, that we'll actually get light rail here in Charles County?
Who knows? I wouldn't say it's going to be in the next couple of years. I wouldn't go that. I don't think it's going to be that long. It's definitely a long-term project. I know they're hopeful that in the next few years, because the money goes to 2027, that they'll be through the design phase and then start into the building phase. So it could be a decade. No one is thinking that it's going to have the same trials and tribulations that the Purple Line in Prince George's County is having, where that's been backed up for multiple decades. But
It's a myth.
I also wouldn't be, at this point, it might as well be, but I wouldn't be buying my tickets for the SMRT just yet, or we won't be buying our tickets next year, is what I'll say with that.
Okay, they say another 20 years or so. No, I think it's interesting. Was there any pushback on light rail?
Not at this event. This is more of a celebration of what was going on, but of course, there's always a cost factor associated with these things, so there's probably pushback on that level. But the main thing is we got to do something about the traffic. Charles County is a growing county. We've seen it. There's new housing projects going up every day, or not housing projects, sorry, new housing developments going up every day. And the gridlock on 301 and 5 is also going to get worse every day unless we do something with the traffic and getting alternate modes of transportation, whether it be light rail or what have you. This project has a good chance of helping. We just got to see it built, and then we can go from there.
Man, it has the traffic's bad. I mean, I back road all the way to PG County every day. Everyone look. I don't know why I do it. I always check 3015 to see if it's clear, and it's never there, because it'll be so quick. It'll be all 20 minutes, but. No, even when I see 25:30, I'm like, I'll just back road it, because I know that 40 minutes was back road is going to be a lot quicker than trying to fight through 301. Amanda, maybe they need to look into a ferry from the western side of Charles County as well.
Could be interesting to see just where would the landing spot be on the other side.
Which other side of the west? It's like Springfield.
Yeah, I was about to say where.
It's north of Virginia, depending on how they look at it, but.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe Springfield. I don't know.
But also the question with that is how many cars can the ferry take?
It would still be a process.
Yeah,
I mean, getting on there, then
getting on, you still got to wait there for the boat to get there. Then it's got to take you across the water, and that's not going to be the fastest mode of travel in the world. Then you got to get offloaded. So that's still a lot of time there.
That's more like a tourist thing. If anything,
a tourist thing, I think it works. And man, I'm not sure that's what you're referring to as far as like alleviation of traffic, or more so to, okay, Deborah, come in with some facts. There's an evaluation done about a year ago, and it turned wasn't feasible this far south.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate though. I think it's still the Woodbridge area. Okay. But you know what? I'm all for that too as well. West side of the county, Pisgah area.
I mean, that's more of like a lax. You know what I'm saying, alternative. I don't think it's like, with it being feasible, it's just not viable.
No, I wouldn't look at it as feasible. Like, hey, take the ferry. You ain't got to go on 301. Don't do that. But, yeah.
But if you want to bypass that coming up, you know what I'm saying, from down south from VA and branch off of Woodbridge and kind of come straight into Southern Maryland via ferry, that'd be a nice little detour.
But also, you have to build up that area a lot, too, as well.
Well, that part.
Yeah.
Well, they're trying over there in Western Charles, trying to build it up economically. We know we got the Bryans Road sub-area plan over there. They just brought the USBTA in Indian Head, but it's supposed to give them a huge boost in economic development and also supporting the base. I know there's room for like 6 businesses in the current building. They do have an option to expand that if the demand comes. So you can see that that area start developing economically, and that's one thing I realized I heard really quickly when I got down here. Folks on the western side of the county really want the development to feel like they are a part of the county, because they see everything going on in Waldorf and this 301 corridor here, but they feel like they're being left out on that side of the county, and they want a piece of the development pie as well, which I completely understand. And they're working towards it. It's just, how fast is that going to be, and how do you want it to look? Because people also point to the urbanization of Waldorf as a situation where they're like, well, we don't want to develop like that. Well, what the sub area plan is going to come in and try to develop it towards the character of that area, and there's a lot of stakeholders that have been involved from several groups that are coming together to try and figure out what the future of that area, Western Charles County, is going to look like.
It's a lot of land over there. A lot of things to do.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. We talk about a lot with Nanger Moine. What's going to happen with that?
Yeah.
Let's get some more of these comments too as well. Amanda, there used to be a ferry in Bryant's Road many decades ago. Man, where did the ferry go to, Amanda?
Well,
Out of
a little
curiosity.
Yeah, that was before my time.
Yeah.
little
Give us
history.
some more history on that one, Amanda. We're curious. Chris on YouTube. What about a raised highway? If the traffic is bad in a couple intersections, why not raise 301 and put off on ramps?
They've done that. They did that.
That's what they did on the 5301.
Yeah.
And it's still bad.
It's still terrible.
Is it worse now?
I'm pretty sure it is, because everyone takes that alternative thinking that it's going to be and it really just more people started traveling that way because of that expansion.
Hey, I keep traveling with them back roads.
It just kept getting worse. Like
the back roads are not busy at all.
no,
Yeah.
They are free.
There's a pretty good back way from from my office up to the 5 split that I found that I can take, and that cuts out 20 minutes out of my commute daily, because it cuts out that we were talking about this off air. That cuts that section going up through Waldorf, because it's always bumper to bumper right there.
Oh man.
From past the Arby's to where the Best Buy is.
Yep.
I cannot remember the name of this road that crosses right there where the Best Buy is, all the way down towards where the Waldorf Walmart is, all the way down to the 3015 split. It's just bumper to bumper all the way. And then they've got that mall there and at the edge of Brandywine. That creates traffic as well. So it's really traffic from from where the Best Buy is all the way to the 3015 split and past it.
Oh yeah, that's just disgusting. Leftwich, you wild. There's a whole dollar store down there. They don't need nothing else.
Look, stop.
Hey, somebody drop him off in Angelmoy tonight.
Let him
Take him to Fisk, please.
Berry Road. That's what I thought. Berry Road.
Derek Terry, appreciate it, Derek Terry. B-ball game. Well, whatever side you were cheering for, I hope they won. Fontasia, a ferry went all the way to Baltimore, D.C., and Virginia. It used to be an amusement park called Marshall Hall, which is now Smallwood State Park. Interesting.
Oh, so that's the Bryan's Road ferry. Is that what she's replying to? That ferry from Bryan's Road must have went to Baltimore, D.C., and Virginia. Is that what she's saying? Vontasia, can you clear that up? Did the ferry go from, is that the one that we was talking about, from Bryan's Road, and that went to Baltimore, D.C., and Virginia? Is that what you're referring to? Because that would be crazy, though. Like, from there.
Yeah, it'd be crazy until you actually get left.
And then how you getting back?
Yeah, next thing you're in Baltimore for a night. Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Good luck, baby.
While your car on the other side of the bay.
Hopefully they bring your car back next morning, or you're going to be stuck.
They bring the hubcaps back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll get something back.
Oh, man. All right, so that was part of your day today. What else did you do? You talked a little bit about the education piece.
Yes, they just had a work session at Charles County Board of Education working on trying to figure out the eligibility policy for the students for athletics and extracurricular activities going forward into the next school year. Now, there's probably a bunch of parents on. I don't have to tell you about how the last 15 months was in schools. Y'all already know. Yeah. For those that weren't parents, it wasn't that great. I think we all heard about the learning loss, the achievement gaps. I wrote about it earlier this year when the state board talked about it. The numbers were way down as far as math and reading achievement. They're trying to figure out a way to not disenfranchise as many kids from the athletics and the activities, after-school activities. So there is a proposal on the books they were talking about today, trying to figure out what they were going to do with it. The highlights of it were basically for the 9th graders, they would be eligible for the first semester before their eligibility requirements kick in. There was also a question of, or a proposal to change or remove the 5 absences, where you have to have less than 5 absences, and also some changes when it came to obviously changing the GPA from 225 to 2.0. That the GPA seemed to be everybody was okay with. The main sticking point seems to be this thing about the absences and then what they're going to do about the Fs, because there's a ruling in it where you can have just one F and the GPA and still do whatever your activity is, right, whether it be athletics, band, whatever. But you can't have more than one F, obviously, and still do it. And the sticking point seems to be from some of the board members is obviously you still want to hold the kids accountable,
Right.
if they're not doing the grades, which I understand. And the one side is that you don't want to disenfranchise the kids, but you also want to make sure that people are still getting their work done. So they're trying to figure out where that new line is going to be. And there's about 3 or 4 alternatives thrown out there. They need 5 votes now to try and, or not to try, 5 votes for any measure to pass. They couldn't get the 5 votes tonight, so they're going to have another conversation, and they will come back at another meeting before the June board meeting to end the year, which will be not this week for that work session. It'll probably be the week after next, because obviously next week is graduation. Everybody's going to be busy going to the graduation, so they're planning for the week after next. They're going to come back and talk about this.
So this is wild right here. So I do like the proposal where the first quarter for 9th graders, they don't have to meet in the eligibility requirements. They can kind of fill it out. It's a transition.
First year,
you know what I mean? Distractions all around too as well. I get that. Okay. So the second semester, all this pops in 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm on record saying what I did. You know what I mean? If a kid's a star somewhere and it's not in the books, I mean, should we not have this kid do anything that could get him?
Yep.
Somewhere to at least in the college classroom, or maybe it turns on the switch later.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. It happens all the time.
Yep.
So the 2.0, I'm for. I'm for that right there. I know it's not. It may not be popular with some. I mean, personally, obviously, I love students that get high marks all across the board. My children, of course, I want high marks across the board. It's not get it twisted, but at the same time, I understand the process of that.
I mean, everybody wants their kids to get high marks, but for some kids, the book smart. Some kids, they're really intelligent. It's just for whatever reason, it's not clicking in the books. For other kids, there might be some extraneous factors happening at home. So I get everything that was going on in the conversation, and it's all coming back to everything was amplified by the pandemic, because we saw the lack of equity in the virtual learning that unfortunately we had to do because we didn't want to risk putting kids in classrooms getting sick with this extremely deadly virus that is unfortunately still going around and still mutating. That's a fact. It's still here, and COVID's probably not going away. We probably missed our boat on trying to eradicate it, but we're trying to figure out. We've learned things in the last 15 months. Now we're just trying to apply them. But the question is, how do we apply it in the right way? And that's what the board is trying to figure out. And this is going to be some of the final decisions for a lot of these board members, because a lot of them aren't running for election when we get into that later.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of,
a lot of them aren't coming back. I think the only 2 that are coming back or that are running again are David Hancock and then the current chair, Michael Lucas. Yeah. So there could be as few as 2 and possibly 1 board member that was here during the last term going into the new board. And it's a very real possibility, just because of law of averages, that Dr. Navarro could be going into her second year with a completely new Board of Education. And that's 8 or 9 new personalities you have to get used to, and 8 or 9 different visions for education that you have to get used to when you bring your policy. So there's a lot in the education sphere that's going to be changing here over the next year.
Man, this is some interesting. I can't wait to get your news reporting on this too as well. What's up?
Like we talked about this before. I can't remember who which guest we had on. We were talking about, maybe it was Shauna Mayan.
Shauna?
It might. Okay. I can't remember. But we were talking about like the whole the grade point average possibly being lower.
Yeah, that was her.
Okay, it was. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. But what we hinted at during that interview is like Maryland has the whole No Child Left Behind thing as well.
Yeah.
So that also plays a role into like these grade point averages, what these kids are achieving. Now, if they detail it down to their individual grades, But if you're going to say that, oh, well, we want to prioritize their education, well, then you're not incentivizing these kids to do anything more. If you're telling them all, they're all going to graduate and they're going to move on to the next grade, regardless of how badly that they do in school. So it's like, okay, well, if I know I'm going to keep going, why can't I play sports then? Because you're already telling me that I'm going to keep progressing no matter what my marks are. So we're creating like this weird conundrum for students, athletes, educators, where we're saying, hey, you need to do well, but even if you don't do well, we're still going to pass you. But if you don't do well enough, you can't play sports.
There's got to be consistency,
like,
and that's what they're looking for
right now.
It's a consistency thing that they got to find, is what it sounds like.
Yeah. So I'm all like, me and Rick agree. The whole grade point average thing, look, I don't give a damn. 1.5, 2.0. You want to incentivize them, absolutely, but you're not going to tell me when you got 6'7" KD in the gym that can't keep a 2.25 that he can't play back.
But I guarantee get 2.5 blocks out there.
But he 2.5 blocks, 5 steals, and 20 on the. I mean, what? Let's. So it's so weird.
It is.
Yeah. They got a lot they got to figure out.
Let's go through some of these comments too as well. Vontation, we don't want to lower the GPA. Well, out of curiosity, who is we? I'm curious who the we is. And that's not a shot. This is me just asking, just learning. Adam, I really don't understand American education. Everything just outrageous nonsense to me. I think Derek Terry said down there, we don't understand it either. So
he said we don't understand England's, the UK's.
No, he said we don't understand either. What he said right here.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. That was Michael. Okay.
Oh yes, left with choice on.
Yeah, of course.
Pascal, lowering their GPA is a risky move, especially if we're seeing so many kids not meeting math and reading milestones. We're not meeting it now. What is it? 70% of some high number, 78% of counties below reading level.
Below reading level. Yeah, like, so what? What are we saying?
I mean, they weren't meeting it before, and it's even worse now.
Yeah,
and that was before the pandemic. So
it ain't getting better anytime soon.
You got to set achievable goals for these kids coming out of this pandemic, man. You got to, like you said, school isn't for every child. And to have the 2.25, it may seem like a very small margin, but the difference between a 2.25 and a 2.0 could be a C- and a C or C+. Like it's just that much of a difference, but it could go a long way. And a lot of these kids, man, they've been socially castrated because of the last, 2 years.
And that's a good point you just made there. There's a huge social component that comes to being around other kids that was just lost.
Yeah.
From March 2020 to to when they started the school back in September. There were kids that basically went to second grade. That was their first time in a classroom. Like we had kids that were in pre-K that didn't have a traditional kindergarten.
Right.
Because of this. There are middle schoolers that didn't have a traditional 6th grade, so their first middle school experience is 7th grade, and then we know how bad that jump was from middle school to high school. They're getting in 10th grade experiencing that jump with other students. I can't imagine what these students right now are going through. I mean, I'm just glad I finished school in 2008 because I can't imagine, well, my ADHD wasn't that great at that time. I barely passed 8th grade. I don't know if I would have made it if this was happening back then. So I feel for what's happening with these kids, and it's something that we're going to be seeing the fallout from this COVID pandemic with the children. We're going to be seeing for the next couple of cycles of kids going up to high school and elementary. It's going to follow them all the way till they graduate. That's time you're not going to get back.
No, not at all. Let's keep going with some of these comments too as well. Derek Terry should be aligned with the NCAA. Must be able to have enough credits to go into the next grade. That's a way. This one left, which I see a comment right there. Let me slick every single time in here. You try to drop that. You see that right there? Yeah. I ain't reading it, man. I'm not reading it.
I ain't messing with you. You got me the last time.
Yeah.
You got me.
All right, so here it is, Amanda. The F issue is slightly crazy because if you had straight A's and one F, you wouldn't qualify for athletics. And Derek Terry, he made a point too as well that I know we're talking a lot about sports, but it's all extracurricular activities.
Yeah, it's the JROTC, it's the band, the art programs. There's a lot of it, and people want to focus on the sports when you start talking about the GPA, but it's not just the athletics. There's student governance, all sorts of positions that are affected with this.
Nicole, what's up? What's going on, Nicole?
Hey, Nicole.
The difference was also hundreds of kids being eligible versus ineligible. There's a lot of kids not having extracurricular activities to do,
and that creates an entire issue with itself.
So what are they doing now instead of being in a structured environment?
And think about it this way: what was the big thing that we was talking about a few weeks ago as well? So let's say you take some of these kids who are ineligible to participate in after-school activities, right? Mm-hmm. But then you don't have a YMCA, you don't have a youth center in this community. So even if they can't go to school and participate, well, at least they had the alternative of YMCAs, youth centers, rec leagues, and you don't have an abundance of this. What are these kids going to be doing?
And that's what was brought up. That was brought up tonight, trying to keep the kids in the structured environment.
Yeah.
And we got to do something for them.
And that's why when it comes to the GPA, hell, I say lower to 1.0.
Man, look, let them play.
Mm-hmm.
Keep them off the streets.
There's no alternative.
There's literally none. No after school program.
It's all connective tissue.
There it is.
Let's keep going here. Amanda, my whole house is having this transition issue. My poor first graders struggle hard at the beginning of this year.
I imagine.
Sorry to hear that.
Going from pre-K to first grade, I could not imagine.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I had my son, Junior, same thing. Started first grade. He was supposed to start right before the pandemic. He was supposed to start because he was like at that close threshold, like 3 turning 4. They was like, no, he has to be 4 by the beginning of the school year. So they're like, boom. Then he turns 5, and like, okay, he's eligible, but now he done missed out on not only pre-K and all the before.
Yeah,
he done missed all of that. He's just been at home with his 2 siblings and parents. And then now, boom, he's been thrust into a learning environment. And he's a fairly well-rounded kid, but it's still a whole new deal for him.
Yeah, and some kids have been acting out. There was a meeting, I believe it was in March. They were talking about the disciplinary records. And while they said, suspensions were down. That's an important part to make. There were suspensions and down. But they were seeing like the rise of like physical incidents and the severity going up a little bit. And when you take that, the jumps that these kids missed because they were a completely different person the last time they were in the school. They're trying to now catch up with all that maturity that they missed, and they're not going to get back easily. And now they're around other students that are having the same problems. It creates conditions to where you see more of the acting out and the kids getting into it with each other. It's going to take a lot, and it goes back to the situation with the grades. You want to keep the kids in a structured environment to maybe help them learn and maybe help bring them up from where they are currently to trying to at least catch up to where they're supposed to be.
Leftwood's crazy. Let me get some say sound like Dave Chappelle. Wow. All right, Pascal, not 1.0. Lord, not 1.0. All right, so okay, not 1.0. Let's say the kid gets it. He can't do extracurricular activities. Then what does he go to? I think the coach said it here. Coaches spoke at the board meeting and talked about kids who felt they would turn to criminal activity, or worse, had they not had sports involvement or some kind of involvement.
Yeah,
or something outside of school. Yeah. And like you said, there's nothing else here for them.
It's not just, like you said, not just sports. It's band, it's cheerleading, it's JROTC.
Podcast, AV club.
All that, yes. Theater, all of that. You can't participate in none of that.
I was on the school paper in middle school and high school, so.
Can't do that as well.
Can't do that with the.
So.
I mean, you say not 1.0, then I would say find a plan for them.
Yeah. I think Von Tasha said something earlier as far as like private schools having what is it, a study hall period where they get like certain tutoring. I don't know if that's like feasible for public schools, but we did have a study hall session in my private school growing up just for the basketball team.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like feasible, something like on a public side, but I mean, if it is, cool, something. Like if they're not making it in class, let's have those things in place where there's a tutoring, a woman that has a tutoring business here in Charles County.
Well, we can. That's just one person though. This is what you can do.
One
here.
person.
So growing up in Bowie, PG County, for tutoring, we had students from Bowie State. They would come in and they'll make a little bit of some bucks too as well. You know, just tutoring us.
That's doable.
And I'm probably about 14, 15 at a time. These the kids too as well, like 20, 21. Yeah. So you also got like a big brother thing out of it too as well. Like a little bit of mentorship. So something like that. I mean, I don't know what you could do as far as. I got a phone call right now. I got to call you back. Say that for later. But something like a mentor, like that right there, could work. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, but
I see Amanda mentioning.
I don't want to just throw a kid to the street just because they couldn't crack it in the classroom.
I see Amanda mention they used to have study hall. Was that for her? For her son. I remember when I was a senior, we had a study hall period built in, but we probably could have used that in all the grades, not just senior. But my high school, they were always experimenting with our schedules. But I went to a private high school. I didn't go to public school, so that's a completely different story altogether.
Derek Terry, at some point, the focus has to be getting those grades up. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. If college, military, or trade school is an option, those extracurriculars would take a back seat. Yeah, I mean, I think someone else said too as well. Extracurriculars could save someone's life. Yeah. So I mean, it's a two-edged sword. It's how you look at it.
Facts.
I keep coming with these comments. I'm just keep reading them. Vantasha, yes, other children and college students will assist. Hey, there it is. Get the community involvement. What do they say? It takes a village to raise a child, right? Well, how many kids in Charles County Public Schools?
27,000. It's a lot.
Yeah, gonna need a lot of community for that one. Laura Kelly, as a teacher, my issue is that there has to be incentive for students to do well academically. I am an art teacher. Shout out to you, Laura. And I know the importance of the special area classes, but we need students to succeed academically so they can succeed at the graduation. That's true.
That is true.
But also, it's not a reality for every student.
And I think there also has to be mentorship and some tutoring programs for the students, which they're trying to do. And I know with this upcoming blueprint for Maryland's future, there could be some opportunities to add that because there's more teaching time that's supposed to be a part of that because that bill's just changing everything about the education in the state.
You done some great reporting on that too as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, please talk on it.
Oh my goodness, where to begin? And I know some people out there have read about it. I've talked about it a lot. The blueprint for Maryland's future is basically an entire refresh of the Maryland education system. It's changing pre-K. You know, they're bringing in full-day pre-K for the 3 and 4 year olds. They're expanding who can send their kid to full-day pre-K. I think it's eventually going to be expanded out to like within 300% of the federal poverty level. So that's middle-class families being able to send their children to pre-K in public school, which is going to be a big help monetarily, because I have heard about I don't have children myself. I have heard about the prices of pre-K.
You want me to tell you?
You go ahead. I would love to hear it, actually.
Man, I think for little Gigi, at one point, I mean, you're talking about maybe like over a K.
Jeez.
I'm talking over a K.
A month.
Not about, a month. It's a mortgage. Look like that. Send your kid to daycare is a mortgage. Yeah. There you go. There it is, Pascal. Pre-K is a second mortgage. It is.
Yeah. So they're trying to take that.
They're
trying to take that financial barrier away because it's a block to a lot of kids. They're trying to get a more diverse teacher base. They're raising teacher salaries. I think it's supposed to be maxing out or not maxing out. I think the new floor is supposed to be, I believe, $60,000. They're trying to get it up to, and then there's incentives within that for teachers meeting certain guidelines and teaching at certain schools. So teachers could be making $80,000-$90,000 at some point a year, which teachers need to get paid. I mean,
I'm for that.
They do a lot. I don't think you're going to get any complaints from anybody that teachers deserve to be paid.
These kids all day.
Yeah, they're trying to get more teaching time. They're trying to get more people in the school that are teaching. Charles County Public Schools, they did a great job talking about this in the beginning over this last school year. They're trying to do a thing, the blueprint is, where they want even like the administrator, like your vice principals and principals, at least having some teaching time in the classroom. And that's just the surface. They want CTE programs for the students that are achieving. They also want the schools to be developing programs to help the students that are not achieving get to where they need to be, to where they're ready for graduation or CTE programs. There's a lot coming into the bill. And that is a extremely simplified version that I gave you of what's going on. It's a lot more complicated than that, but it's also going to come down to, it's going to take a lot of money to get it done, but it's also an extremely important initiative that the MGA has passed, and now it's down to the counties to implement. There is also some money coming from the state. However, it's based, how much money you get from the state is going to be based on how wealthy or poor the county is. So the poorer counties, maybe in Western Maryland, the Eastern Shore, going to be getting a little bit more state aid compared to maybe here in Charles, Prince George's, counties like that. They're a bit more prosperous. They're going to be seeing a lot, or not a lot less. We're going to see a little less state aid than those other counties.
This is it's going to change a lot of things here.
Yeah, it's a complete revolution of what their of what education is going to look like over the next 10 years.
Nicole, the blueprint is an entire transformation of the Maryland education system based on international best practices. Derek Terry, those opportunities for the Maryland Blueprint will have more emphasis on local governments each year, and the local taxpayer will pay the brunt of the bill.
Yep.
Now, does it have to be the taxpayer? If a county's develop enough commercial revenue off of taxes, I mean, couldn't some of that go to this, or does it have to be?
Well, commercial pays taxes too. Yeah. It depends on what your split. It depends on what the county's bringing in as far as state and between commercial and residential taxes. I know they're trying to bring more businesses to the county so they can get that tax burden down. I think now for this year's budget, it was like half was coming from the residential property taxes, which is a lot less than what it used to be. But people looking at those tax bills, okay, well, it's 3% down, or what was this stat that Dyer mentioned? Since fiscal 2020, the tax rate the tax income, gotta get these terms right, because y'all lit me up last time, and I completely understand.
We will get to that.
Y'all lit me up, and I understand. The business tax income has gone up 25% compared to less than 10% for the residential since that fiscal 2020 budget. But that doesn't give people much solace when they're opening their property tax bill for the year and they're seeing the number went up again because their housing value went up again, even if the tax rate did not. And they will correct me if I got that wrong, because they corrected me the last time.
We'll circle back around.
We'll come back to it. But
I mean, we'll get to the commissioners too as well when it comes to voting and all that.
Yeah.
So that ties back. Derek Terry, stick around for that one. I know you got some thoughts too as well. Adam from the UK. It's almost like 3 a.m. over there, man. Shout out to you.
He is a trooper for staying up for this.
That's what I definitely don't understand. Why should education cost, and why so much? It's always been free over here. Well, are you talking about sports? So, like, I mean, everything costs money, like the buildings and the staff and all that.
And just to
not public education is a cost for kids to go. Then you get to college, and it's something totally different.
Yeah, and just to clear it up further for Adam, there are private schools, but our public schools, they don't, the residents don't pay to go to the public schools, so they can just do whatever, or not do whatever. They can send their students to it. It just comes out of the budget for the counties or the state. Well, the state has a state education budget, and then the counties have the budget that deals with the schools down here, and it doesn't cost per se as far as sending the kid to the school every day, but it does cost in the as Rick said, with the infrastructure and the teaching and the per pupil costs and things like that the boards of education has to pay.
But don't kids still pay for lunch at public schools?
It's been free all year.
Yeah.
Has it been free this year?
Yeah.
I know that was a big thing for a while.
Yeah, it's been free.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been free all year.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long it lasts for, but
Yeah.
Rick
At
and
least
Jeb
for now.
Rick and Jeb been eating good, so.
Okay. Hey, look, I thought that was gonna be my next gripe right there. Like, but
boys
they
7
still
and 8,
paying.
yeah.
You know, what I'm saying here.
Yeah, that has been a gripe for many years. As far as I think nationwide, the kids are going to the public schools and still having to pay for lunch, and that is something that's probably going to have to be factored into budgets going forward. How to pay that, how the Board of Education can, for lack of a better word, subsidize that so all the students don't have to pay for lunch. Because I know there are some schools where they have the free and reduced meals programs, but I'm pretty sure there's a lot of parents on this tonight that would like that to go to all of the schools for the free and reduced meal, or just all of them get the free meals, which is completely understandable.
Grandma used to tell my pops growing up, Southeast DC, he said, you better take your ass to school, boy. It's a free meal you get.
Get that free meal.
Come on now. Let's keep going from here. Derek Terry, in a nutshell, local government's going to need money in the future. Yep, we got to grow it. Got to grow it. Let's keep going from here. I'm going to circle and keep on topic. Let's see. Keep going. We talk Charles County, wealthiest African American county in the country. We talk back and forth PG. I don't know. Top 3.
It's up there. Yeah, we'll go there.
Y'all are slightly above my home county now.
Okay, Amanda. So I'm still wondering, where is all the education money that was supposed to come from the casinos?
That's a great question.
My MGM.
I mean, like that's the whole reason why why it was sold. The MGM supposed to pay for the schools.
I know recently they had.
No, I don't believe that. No way.
I didn't believe that at the time, but
I believe recently they had to go back and actually, and I think that was before I got here. Obviously, they actually had to go back in the General Assembly and actually make them put a certain amount of money from those casinos into the education, because I think there was something where it would go into like the general fund, I believe, and they changed that to make sure that the money goes into education completely instead of it going off to a certain place, because that was one of the criticisms when that proposition came up, was that there was nothing in there that specifically said they had to put the money in education.
These
goddamn crooks, man.
The loopholes, bro. And then that money gets funneled into like a general fund, and then it gets lost, and then
and then where does that money go from there? Is the question.
Now you talk about Charles County only gets $2 million. I'm just throwing a number out there, but it's supposed to get funneled into Maryland education, but now money's gone, so you get the crumbs left over that's going to
it's going into the general budget, but are you sure it's actually going into the education budget?
Who knows? It's going to somebody's pockets.
Wow. Okay.
You see Hogan's new Tesla?
We don't want to cast any aspersions.
Yeah.
We just joking. It's all jokes over here tonight.
It's entertainment, baby. Carlos, sounds like we need to diversify our tax base. Come on now.
Yeah. And I think that message was heard loud and clear at the budget hearing.
You were there?
Yeah, I was there.
We're going to get into that too as well.
Yep.
Sounds like we needed, I'm sorry, I just read that one. Apologize. We had talked about Charles County. Weak commercial due to previous administrations. This is true too as well. This is true. Scroll down. Let's see, I want to make sure I miss anything. I'm just going through some of these comments.
Adam is getting a crash course in how American budgets work.
It's blowing this man's mind.
Yep.
Laura Kelly, all schools have free and reduced lunch and breakfast. Families qualify based off income. Yep.
Okay. She also said just like the lottery money.
Yeah. Derek Terry, Maryland Blueprint money comes from casino money, if I recall. I wonder how much of that comes from. All right, I think we're all right. We got somebody talking back and forth. Okay, good to go. Ab's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time. Hey, you're watching the podcast right now too as well. Give us a like. Make sure you share it too as well. It's how we grow organically through the community of Charles County. All right, so Leftwich has a question. It's a good time to move on to this before we go into some budget stuff. So, obviously, you're Southern Maryland News reporter.
Yes.
Been on the job for a year.
Yes.
So, what's some things going on that's happening that you can talk about? Enlighten the audience for tonight.
Well, I know at the paper we're trying to expand into the digital space. We did recently give out the Southern Maryland News app, which you can get on Apple and Android. So that is
okay.
Good resource if you want to get our paper on the go. Other than that, we're just working hard. I know it's been a year now since all the papers came together, and we're just trying to be a better regional outlet for everybody here. I know we still have the county fronts in the paper because we still wanted to represent the counties, and we also wanted to better represent what's going on regionally in Charles, Calvert, and St. Mary's as well, because we are a regional paper, and we want to make sure that we are good representatives of our region, because as we know, small papers, they're going away. I think we've seen it nationally. The national trends are these small, little, or not little, but these local small town papers, unfortunately, they got left behind in the digital, in the rush to digital, and big papers struggled as well. So they got a cold. You know what we got.
Yeah.
So we come together and we're stronger as a group together. I work with a great group of guys. Jesse Aitman, who is my editor over there, good guys, really helped me come along in this first year. And yeah, I'm excited for what comes next here with the paper. I know we're working on you may have seen this, we've been doing a monthly special on the inflation that we've seen in the grocery store. It's up there. I've been going to one of the stores around here monthly. We've got basic items that we pick out that we talk about, and just seeing some of these things that are going up. I think the eggs jumped like 30, 40 cents this month. Chicken went up a lot. I know there was a bird flu situation that caused that, and everything's just going up right now. And it got started. We shut everything down due to the pandemic, and they said we were going to feel these ripples. We're starting to feel them now, and then any sort of disruption between there just makes the wave bigger. Like, perfect example, we're working on something about the formula shortage.
Right.
And I just mentioned it too as well.
In this area, like, there is nothing on the shelves due to this recall, and it is really bad. This it's not the inflation, but mothers are struggling trying to find milk for their babies right now. And some people make side-handed comments on Twitter talking about, well, if you just breastfeed your baby, this wouldn't be a problem. If everybody could breastfeed, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation now, would we? Like, there are a lot of situations between blocked milk ducts, and some babies don't really go towards and there's probably some mothers in the chat that can help me with this. There's a whole different slew of things that could affect why a baby can't breastfeed. But at the end of the day, we still got to feed the baby. Like, we just can't say, well, you're not breastfeeding, so you can't feed. They still got to get fed.
It's ignorance.
So what's the point? Exactly.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. Let's go to this comment section too as well.
Yeah.
Pascal, I was talking about baby formula. Derek Terry has a story. He wants a story for you next week.
Yep. Hit me up, Derek. I'd actually like to hear that. So hit me up.
Okay.
May 31st. Okay.
Got Darryl Butler Washington in the comment section. Be on the podcast June 23rd. Darryl, how you doing? COVID now, monkeypox. What is next?
I don't think that monkeypox, though, is taking off as badly as everybody's feared.
Nah.
That one's a bit harder to transmit from what I looked into. So I know there's like fear that there's going to be a monkeypox pandemic. I would not get too excited about that.
Right.
And that's a good thing, because
yeah.
the last thing we need are two pandemics at the same time.
Back to back. Carlos Shaw's also single fathers can't breastfeed and need to buy formula.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on now, Carlos.
About that.
Yeah, there's some there's some parents that can't breastfeed literally because it's not in their biology. So, and dads also want to raise their kids. You know, even if it's a 2-parent household, if the baby's hungry and mom's not home, somebody still got to feed the baby.
Yeah, come on now. Come on. Shauna, what's going on?
You're welcome.
Previous guests on BNY. My 2 oldest are adopted. Families come in all forms. There you go. Pascal about to get his chicken and cows.
You might have to.
Monkeypox could have picked a different name. I thought Leftwich. I think it actually came from a monkey though.
Yeah, it actually the virus actually came from a monkey. That's why they named it. That was way back in the 70s. I think I read as when it was first made the jump to humans. So.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any undertones with that one. Okay, so
see Adam, you see
what's that?
Talking about what's happening over there in England. It says the same thing pretty much.
Well, let me read that. It's pretty much.
Yeah, they had a thing called Brexit where they left the European Union.
Yeah.
And that caused a whole sort of issues.
Yeah, Brexit, that was wild in itself.
Yeah, that was.
So let's talk about some budget stuff too as well.
All right.
So you had an article talking about the you was referring to the words of Commissioner Collins, saying that the tax rate wasn't going up.
Yeah.
And the people came at you about that too as well.
Yeah, they did.
Right. Now it's the camera's yours. I'm actually gonna switch it up for you too, so I'll change cameras in a minute. Go and talk on that. What happened?
Okay, I have heard everyone loud and clear about the situation. Okay, which cameras? Oh, this one's the lit one. Okay, so while the wording was correct, the tax rate did not go up. I do understand that your taxes still went up for really good reason, or not really good reason, but the reason why those taxes went up is because the assessed property values that are done by the state of Maryland, they went up as they've been going steadily for years now. So even if that rate stays the same, and we talked about this in the subsequent articles since, people are still seeing a rise in their property taxes because of that. And it doesn't matter if the rate's not going up, or if the rate doesn't go up, if the rate doesn't go up, but my bill's still getting higher, it feels like a tax increase, which we heard loud and clear at the budget hearing back in April, or a couple weeks ago. So it's understandable that everybody is upset that, unfortunately, their property taxes, yet again, they're seeing a rise in that tax bill, even if the rate stayed at its current level.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. If you had a chance to reword that article, would you have done that?
I think I would have changed how I did actually, it's funny you point that, like a couple days after we wrote it, I was looking at the headline. I'm like, I should have put tax rate in the headline instead of no tax increase, because it's the no increase in tax rate. But of course, it's still going to go up, especially for this property tax, as I said, due to the assessed increase in property value. So is that one little word that you miss?
Because it would have made it more specific.
Would have made it more specific and probably would have cleared up the misconception.
Oh, man.
And of course, you're the rookie. You're going to take your lumps. And that's one, to use a motorsports analogy, that's just a lap where you put it in the notebook and you try to make the next laps a little bit better, because you just made a mistake and you can't really blame anybody else but yourself. But it's like, you learn really quickly, the wording is important.
Hey, keep shooting, baby.
I was on social media. They had people accusing you as a mouthpiece for Commissioner Collins. You were
I didn't even look. I didn't even read any of that. I didn't even pay it any mind. People are gonna say what they want to say. Look, I just got here. I'm from Prince George's County. I live in Bowie. The only thing the commissioners are to me are folks I cover. I'm still going to be cordial with people. I'm going to be nice. If I got to ask them a tough question, I'm going to ask it to them. But I'm not a mouthpiece for anybody. That's not what I went to school to be. That's not what I want to get a master's for. I do apologize if it came out that way. Of course, that's not what we were trying to do. And trust me, there was an article earlier in my tenure that I wrote. What was it about? Dealing with, there was a situation at the county, at the detention center with COVID, and we were trying to figure out what was going on over there. The folks you would think I'd be a mouthpiece for probably didn't like me that much because I wrote about something going on with the Charles County Sheriff's Office. But it was it's I don't know why I'm acting like that. It's in the paper. I wrote about it. There was a situation about what was going on with the COVID procedures. There was controversy over that. Is the short version of that article. You can find it on SOMDnews.com. But I got to cover stuff, whether or not it's going to hurt those people, whether or not it's going to help those people. I still got to cover the story. So they might not like me for that, but we still have to have a working relationship. On this issue, I messed up. This was not me being a mouthpiece. I messed up on my wording, and I will admit that. But there was no mouthpiece, no marching orders for anybody. Nobody's calling me, telling me how I should write anything. So I just hang up on them or tell them my going rate's $100,000 per word. You want to do it in cash check or cash app. That's how I'd put that. And they'd hang up real quick. So actually it's $100K per letter, not word. So
that's the price. Hey, every man can be bought $100K per letter. Hey. Come on now.
It'll go up each time you ask me, so you better leave me alone.
Well, there it is. I'm glad we were able to clear that up too as well. 'Cause that's some of the questions that people had for me coming in. So hey, make sure you ask Darryl. They're like, look, we'll talk about it. We'll go from there.
And I will say I apologize for that again. I've heard a lot of nice things from a lot of the folks in this chat. So I think I've talked to most of the people that are in here. I recognize a lot of the names. They've had a lot of nice things to say about me, and I appreciate all of that. I'm a first year on the big time. I did some writing for WBGR on the side, and I'll admit it, I've had some struggles with anxiety, and basically my worth is doing the job, High school is not fun for me. A lot of bullying, a lot of things of that nature, self-esteem issues that I think I have underlying coming from that. But, to hear the positive reinforcement from you guys that, you do appreciate my reporting, it feels good. And it makes me feel that I'm doing something right and actually providing, the service I've spent $59,000 trying to learn, which is how to be a journalist. And I want to do the best for this county, even if it makes certain folks in power. And I'm not going to get it right every time.
Hey,
I understand that.
You're gonna ruffle some feathers now.
I'm gonna ruffle feathers for the right reasons. I'm gonna ruffle feathers for the wrong reasons, as we saw. But at the end of the day, I just want to be the best reporter that I can be for Charles County. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Round of applause for
Much
you
respect.
too, man. Absolutely.
Much respect for that. Absolutely.
Let's read some of these comments. I'm gonna propose something to you, then we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Pascal. Thank you, Darryl. I appreciate your reporting and sharing multiple perspectives. So, Adam, this is where I step back and say I have no clue how taxes work in the U.S. Yeah, we're still trying to work it out.
Trust me, we don't know how they work.
We don't even know.
Pascal, again, Darryl gathered family and community perspectives too, so I appreciate him. Dottery, Darryl, you are good. We got you. Laura, thank you. So. Absolutely. No, thank you for the work you're doing. That's why, one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to you and talk to you. So I want to get into election coverage here.
All right.
In the back half of this podcast, but I'm going to give you a proposal. Do you want to take a small break or do you want to go right into it?
I think I'm good. We can keep on going. Actually, let's take a little bit of a break because I do want to use the bathroom. So
okay, there it is. Do that. And that way I can bring out the intermission too as well.
Hey, bring the intermission, baby. Woo!
Bring out the intermission.
Hey, y'all stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back real soon.
Nicole, thank you, Darryl. Carlos, thank you, Darryl.
Thanks, everybody.
Brandon, I have no clue how taxes work. So
we'll be back shortly.
We'll be back in a few minutes here. Let me bring up this intermission, and we in there.
All right. Thank you.
Here's about one more minute, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's get this thing started again. How's the temperature in here? We good?
Yeah, we good. Good.
All right. Let's go and fade this back in. All right, we're back. Hope everybody got their snacks to see in the comment section.
Appreciate that.
Left was trying to figure out what BNY stands for. Not today. It does stand for something.
Not today.
And that actually comes with a story of its own, too, as well, how the podcast was started.
The whole inception of the podcast.
Yeah. What the podcast used to be, how it used to run. So, yeah. All right. So, Darryl, Kinsey.
Yes.
Election coverage from here on out.
Yep.
You've been talking to a lot of the politicians that's running, incumbents and candidates. Yep. Let's go from the top. Commissioners.
Well, that commissioner race is going to be interesting, especially with what just happened with the budget, the pros that we did have a nearly $500 or nearly $500 million budget. The negatives, I think we touched on before the break, the tax rate staying where it was and the associated increase that came with it. I can imagine there could be some influence from the electorate. There definitely was when my article came out about the budget, when we talked about the tax rate again when they finalized it. That is probably going to be on a lot of people's minds on a primary day, which here, Charles County, we know that it's a pretty good split Democrat-Republican. That very well could be, election day or general election day the way it is. There really isn't I know there's one Republican challenger for each of the races, and there's only one that was picked, or one that signed up and was not picked by the committee. But who knows what could happen when we get to election? It doesn't really mean anything, but it's a majority Democratic candidates. So that Democratic, in Maryland, you vote based on your party when it comes to the primary. So this Democratic primary that's coming up in July is going to be extremely important, and it's where most of our candidates are. Is there a possibility where you could see some of the incumbents falling? Probably. I'm not going to make any bets or say who I think is going to win. Well, one, I can't, and two, you try to take election bets for me, you're going to go right into the poorhouse because I'm probably not going to be right. I can't pick. I can barely pick races on Sunday. So me trying to pick an election winner, you don't want that. So anybody I would pick, you put the money on the other guy because that's probably who's going to win. But it's going to be in the hand. Obviously, it's going to be in the hands of the voters and what they feel about the budget and not about the budget, but obviously the tax rate. There's traffic issues that still need to be dealt with in the county. There's questions about crime and whether or not it's going up. Well, not whether it's going up, but how people perceive the issue of crime in the county. A lot of that is going to come into play when it comes into July. And of course, we throw in this inflation thing. We talked about it. Everybody's expenses are going up. They see their tax bill also going up. That could turn people against those that are currently in power. Or depending on how those people campaign and how they are talking to the public. I know there is a commissioner forum coming up at the West Waldorf Library. June 27th to 29th is being put on by a private citizen. So we're going to have all the commissioner candidates are going to be there for those 2 days. I think it's going to be the commissioner president candidates, and then 1 in 4 district candidates on one day, and then the commissioner president candidates in districts 2 and 3 on another day. I don't have a list of who's going to be there just yet, but it's going to be interesting to see when those questions come out, what everybody says, and especially with the proximity of that to the July 19th primary, that could swing a lot of votes favors towards one candidate or the other in terms of who's going to pick up that win on July 19th. And as I said, with how the county is made up, with it being majority Democrat in the county, that could carry them right on through to the general.
There was asking to repeat the date and where to find out more information about that.
Okay, so that is going to be June 27th and June 29th. There was just a change in who's going to be moderating. So that announcement is going to be in our paper, SOMDnews.com, and our briefs. And I'm also going to tweet out the information as well. I just got to get back to my computer, obviously. I'm going to tweet out, I'm at Darryl SOMD to find out more information about that. And you'll be able to send your questions in as well. So
love to see
I'll try to tweet that out tomorrow morning about what that event is going to be.
Cool.
But it's going to be at the West Waldorf Library from 5 to 7, the 27th and 29th of June.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with those dates too as well. But yeah, when you tweet it out, we'll share it to BNY too as well. So so you can't call winners in this race. You're not an opinionated op-ed.
Right.
Yeah, you're just reporting the news.
Yeah.
However, me and Dev, I'm trying to call this thing tonight.
I don't know. That's tough.
I got an idea. So let me ask you this.
All
Let's
right.
go through some of these races, and you just give me some reporting on it, and we'll give some of our opinionated thoughts for the interest of the podcast, too, as well.
All right.
Obviously, our thoughts are our own. You're reporting.
Yep.
You're sitting on that side. We're sitting over here. All right, you see the line? We're good with that? All right.
The line is drawn. They understand it.
There it is. We got for Commissioner President, Joe Crawford, Ruben Collins, and Latina Wilson. Can you give some background on maybe Crawford and Latina Wilson and Collins too as well?
Well, I haven't had an opportunity to speak with Crawford just yet. I have spoken with Latina Wilson. She is she's also part of the school board right now. And she's running, obviously she's got an education in mind being as a part of that school board, but she also wants to help make things a little bit more transparent. I know transparency was a big part of her campaign when we spoke, and then Commissioner Collins spoke on some of the accomplishments they have done over the last few years, or over the last 4 years, talking about the diversity, equity, and inclusion that they're trying to bring in, also some of the economic opportunities they're trying to bring to the county, and it's going to be interesting to see how that runs. I know Commissioner Collins was ousted before, and obviously he's taking a lot of the brunt from the taxes as well, so that's going to be an interesting race to watch.
Okay. And comment section. Hey, let's have some fun too as well. Y'all tell us who you think is going to win this race. Crawford Collins or Latina Wilson. Me personally, so I don't know much about Crawford. We should reach out to Crawford too as well. We got time on that. Yeah, he'll be in the general, so see what he's talking about. So Latina Wilson, Democrat, Collins, Democrat. Latina Wilson, who said it here that she didn't do nothing for the school board? She was the president of the school board.
Yeah.
They ended up losing her seat. We had Ian Hurd on this podcast too as well.
Deciding
he
vote.
was the deciding vote. So, and this may be a small sample size, but if your own school board didn't think that you were qualified to run it, why should I think you're qualified to run the county? I got Collins in a landslide, to be honest. I think the moment he put his name down on paper, it was pretty much a done deal. I think a stronger candidate probably could give much on the Democratic side, give more of a battle.
Got you.
Yeah, but I know about every candidate. Yeah, hey, Derek Terry, yeah, you here? Come on now, drop your information. We need a Republican to shake it up. I mean, Joe Crawford, he's going to be in the general, so we'll see. And we love to have Joe Crawford on here. Joe Crawford. Right. Hey, this is your invite here to BNY.
Welcome. Here it is.
Somebody get the message out to him. Tag him in it. So, yeah, but between Collins and Latina Wilson, I don't see how Latina Wilson is going to. I don't see it.
It's too much. Collins is also a lot more popular as well, even though some people have the gripes about the whole tax thing. Mm-hmm. As far as if you just go for popularity, the name is a little bit more well known. Mm-hmm. We see his face. I know you send me certain articles and stuff from time to time about what's going on here, what's going on there. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people that's not fully entrenched into the politics, that they're not going to these meetings, they're not paying attention to these type of things. Mm-hmm. If they're seeing the board that's plastered on certain, you know what I'm saying, mm-hmm. or they hear the name, that's just enough for them. For a lot of people that vote, mm-hmm. just recognizing the name, even if they don't even know their platform, is just enough. And I just feel like he's more popular than the other candidates as well.
And the people are saying it too as well. Collins down the board. Collins. Deborah. The Carvers have been around for maybe decades, but I can't recall them winning any elections. Damn. Probably time to stop running. Ain't a shot. I mean, this is what I'm looking at right here. You know what? This is something I was going to say too as well. And maybe you can get some thoughts to this, Darryl, but I don't know if you can or not. If I was a Republican, I'll just run as a Democrat in Charles County.
Oh, just to get in?
Yeah. I got Republicans running as Democrats right now in Charles County.
I mean, but doesn't it go to your integrity at that point?
But you want to win or not?
I mean,
you could be a right-leaning Democrat.
I mean, you can. It's not unheard of, but
Nicole, people have done that.
Well, I can't speak towards campaigns doing that. There's probably some people as voters doing that because they see, one side might have more consequential, their primary might be more consequential than the party I signed up for. So let me sign up for we'll use this county, for example. If I was a Republican, let me sign up as a Democrat so I can at least have more say in who the candidates could be going forward. Not to, some people are saying, I know during the national, people trying to switch sides, trying to sabotage. I don't think that's happening, but people are trying to they want to feel like their vote matters, and they're going to go the direction where they feel like their vote matters. And if the Republican primary, we've seen there's not that many candidates on it compared to the Democratic primary,
right?
They might feel their vote would matter a little bit more if they went over to that Democratic, or at least sign the paper that they're a Democrat so they could vote for one of the myriad of candidates that we have over there.
Mm-hmm. I just think you have more success. I look at some of these Republicans on this list, I look at them like, you know what? If you had a D instead of R next to your name, you probably take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Huh. Let's read some of these comments right here too as well. Ali Rock. Actually, your name's about to pop up here soon too as well. They're just holding to allow the Central Committee a chance to find a viable candidate.
We've heard that.
Yep. Laura Kelly, some of them do now. There it is. And Deborah Jones, New Democrat, like Bill Clinton style. Pascal Small calling out Rucci. Couple's already doing that. Ali Rock, the strategy literally that makes my blood boil. Stand by your principles. If you're in the minority, get better at evangelizing your viewpoint. And Ali, I do.
That's my point.
I do like that too as well. But you have an R next to your name in PG County or Charles County. All I can say is good luck.
It gets a lot harder, I think, with how the voting rolls are distributed.
By default, I can suck. All right, put a deep. Marion Barry smoked crack, went to jail, came back and won election. Come on now, I mean.
First of all, that's the eternal mayor of D.C., okay?
I mean, rest in peace to him, but damn, it happened.
You're not going to salt.
I'm not. I'm just reporting.
It's the truth,
just reporting news, man.
It's the truth.
That happened.
That's the eternal mayor of D.C.
I'm just saying, you got a Republican that has great viewpoints, well-liked, this and the third, but
that's voter education at that point.
Yeah,
though.
but voter
who does that in that scenario? Then who does that fall on?
You get on voter education. People look at signs on the road and vote off of that.
I just made that point.
Exactly. I'm reiterating. Eternal mayor. That's why we do what we do here. That's why we do. Insult the mayor. Leave the mayor alone. I didn't come at him. I just read what we did. Hey. Oh my God.
Look, yo, leave the mayor for life out of this.
Y'all ain't gotta come for me, man.
See, now you
All right? Don't send it for me, please.
So now you get the DC folks coming for us.
God damn. Use that as an example. It's true. It happened.
It did happen though.
FBI was involved.
Yep.
There was a woman in the closet. I mean, come on now.
It was crazy.
It was also the 90s. All right, Alley Rock is all right, let's keep on this. But you switch sides, it works for one cycle. You either become a real Democrat or people will get hip to who you really are. I mean, Pascal called out somebody too as well. But I mean, after a while, it just sticks in. All right. Hey, left with you wild, man.
Mike, chill.
Derek, Terry, why shows like this are important. Hey, yours too as well, my guy. Absolutely. My bad. You're good. All right, let's move on from here. All right, District 1. District 1.
Oh, this is gonna be this is the most entertaining race I think there's gonna be.
District 1 is yeah.
There's so many folks in it.
So we got Paul Genevieve. They've done great work to the House too as well. Yeah, as far as the company. Obviously we got BJ Gilbert Bowling in there. Richard E. Cook, Ian Hurd, who's been on the podcast as his cook, and Matt Nolan Wills, who I've reached out to about the podcast. So we'll see how that works out.
Reached out to him as well for a story for SOMD News. That is going to be a race that is going to be very watched. I think there's been a lot of conversation around bowling that some of it's good, some of it's bad, but that's politics for you.
A little controversy recently.
Yep. On the other side, you've got Richard E. Cook trying to put a doctor on the commissioners, this sign says, and then Ian Hurd, the one that kind of jumped off the page for me. That's the student member of the
Board of Education.
Charles County Board of Education. I guess looking for a promotion in board seats is, I guess, what you can call it. I've watched him through the board stuff. He does seem like, got a good head on his shoulders, and he sounds like somebody that would, want to pursue higher office. So you've got some strong candidates in that District 1 race, but it's also a crowded field, as you've seen. So that is one of those races that's going to be well watched because either one of those candidates has a really good chance of winning.
So here's my problem with these candidates too as well. BJ's the only one doing work on social media. Ian Hurd hasn't been really much from him since. It just hasn't. Matt Nolan Wills, not really much too as well. Richard Cook, he did a podcast. He had his doctor's office hours, but I haven't seen much of him on that front either. BJ's out here every single day. Whether you like him or not, the man's in your face. He just did a town hall, I believe, tonight too as well.
Yep.
So and Matt Nolan Wills, I see Pascal keeps coming for BJ, and I know they I think he was number 2 in the race in 2018, but I don't know if he can overtake Leftwich. I'm gonna answer your question. I'm gonna answer it truthfully too as well. I'm gonna give you something for that one. So I don't know. I don't see. Obviously, Genevieve, he'll be there on the general side, and I love to once again love to talk to him. A lot of Republican candidates we can kind of save for the back end, like the July, September, those months too as well. But I don't see anyone actually taking down bowling. I don't see enough work from them, and that's not a shot. That's just being real. Like if Cook, Wills, or her wants to win this election, they gotta get out here a lot more. It just needs to be more because BJ's out here working. I mean, that's my take on that. Dev, what you got?
Well, let's say no slight to Dr. Cook. We loved him on the podcast.
No shot.
You know what I'm saying? He came out here, he talked his stuff, but like the biggest thing that we was talking about tonight, like that night, like he doesn't even have a website. Like
You didn't have a website.
he has no social media presence, and he was like, "I don't. This is what it is. I'm running my campaign my way," and it's like, I don't necessarily get it. But if that's how you choose to run your campaign, cool. But we're talking about the age of technology and social media. If you want to have an impact, if you want to get your message out there, yeah, we're here. But you got to do that. You got to do some of that legwork on your end, not having a website.
I mean, look what we're learning at the newspaper business. I mean,
Got to adapt to that.
you got to adapt to the digital side of everything. So
I don't think I like Doc Cook. You know what I'm saying? Not to say I'm biased in any which way. Good guy. I mean, hell, we've talked. You know what I'm saying? Well, we've reached out to, you know what I'm saying, Matt Nolan and Wills as well. But to your point, Rick, BJ's out there doing it. And you can't deny what's actually being done and what's actually out there for the people to see. And that's what really matters in these elections is what are people actually seeing? Who are they seeing? And they're seeing him. So,
It's just him.
yeah.
I mean, I know that Wills and BJ had a spat on Facebook back and forth, but Terry reached out to him by the podcast. I reached out to him by the podcast. You said you reached out to him to talk to him too as well. So I mean,
It is what it is. Like that's just what it is.
hey, if he would have said let's do it, he would have been on here about 5 weeks ago. That's a little show knowledge for you.
And big ups to Ian Hurd. Keep doing what you do, young fella. As a young
future.
man, bright future. I have a son his age. I'm all for it. Yo, I like what you're doing. There's a lot of kids that I would hope that gets more involved into these types of things and kind of come up through this process and see what's actually going on in their communities. I'm all for him. But to like a lot of people's, you know what I'm saying, credit their point. I'm 36. Some of these people in the comments are a lot older than me. You know, you get that's that barrier of trust and how much experience do you really have in dealing with big budgets and community projects and kind of, you know, so, you know, a lot of people saying smart but too young. And I can't deny that, but I will say don't discredit based solely on that.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get why.
I think I think he could win one day.
He absolutely will.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't think it'll be this cycle though.
He keeps this trajectory going. He absolutely will.
Yeah. Because who knows? I mean, BJ, I don't think he's going to sit in that seat forever. Right? He has bigger plans, and that's just nothing that I know, you know, just based off of political speculation.
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay, Leftwich, I'm going to answer your question. So, who is declining your podcast? All right. So, obviously, everybody knows about the Amanda Stewart podcast, too, as well. Yeah. They haven't reached out to reschedule.
Right.
It was canceled. We talked to Alvin a lot about that one too as well to set that up. So is that happening? I don't see I don't see that one at all. Deron Tross. He's supposed to be back. He's supposed to be on here back in March.
That was a reschedule, or we just go there.
Yeah.
It was supposed to happen in March.
That's supposed to happen in March.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right, let's keep going from there. It's fun watching Wills on social media. I need Wills to speak on social media too as well. I need more. I need more video. I need more video, more platform. Okay. All right, Darryl, District 2. What's your thoughts over on that race? We got Allie Rock holding it down right now on the Republican side. Allie, just confirm that you're just holding the seat too as well, or you don't have any plans of actually running in general. Just you're here too as well. Just want to go there. Only those two speaks volumes. We've been reached out a lot too as well. It's been a lot of love. Yeah. As far as the commission board, we haven't had Allie. I'm not running. There it is, right there.
okay.
Yeah. And Derek Terry, he interviewed Charles tonight, so it will air tomorrow.
Nice.
I think I may have sent Ali an email, so it's good to know that. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. There it is. Work's done for you. So Allie's not running. She's just holding the seat right now. Obviously, Thomasina Coates, the incumbent. Augusta McKenzie, she'll be running too as well. We had Manny on last night. Yeah, Manny came.
Very passionate individual.
This is
Man was fighting.
Yeah, this is the passion race. I would call it like that. Both of them, Augusta and Manny, are extremely passionate. I talked to both of them, and they believe. Some people may not believe their platforms. They live and they breathe it. That's what I can tell from it. And Augusta has been at several meetings at Indian Head, and then she was also at Indian Head for the grocers town hall that I was at, and then she also obviously came to the meeting. Her and Manny were actually both at the meeting for the budget, and Augusta got up there and I think gave the most passionate speech of the night when it came to that. And then Manny also spoke. Thomasina Coates has been, I'm trying to work on getting an article together for her, but of course our schedules just aren't aligning. So, but that is another one of those, that's the, I call it, that's the passion race that I call, just how everybody is geared over there in that district.
Rick?
Man, I don't know, dude, because here, if it was just Manny versus Coates or Augusta versus Coates, okay.
Yeah.
Now we got something. But I think Pascal brought up last night, it's like, you two may split the vote. And Thomasina, obviously, her family name, she's talked a lot about that too as well, the roots in this county. It goes a long way. Politics-wise, I wouldn't pick Coates at all. It was straight off the platform.
Yeah.
But that's not what really matters here. It's a name recognition of this one too as well. I'm not going to call this one. I'm going to call this one just yet. I need to see. There needs to be more. There has to be more seen. I'm not going to do that. I think it's still time for Manny or Augusta to make up some good ground to take a lead. But I mean, it's tough with both y'all there. I mean, it is what it is.
Go ahead, my bad.
Nah, that's it. Go on.
I think to Pascal's point last night, and she was saying why not Manny just concede and put support. I think that goes both ways, right? And I'm not saying either one should do it because they both believe that they're both the best candidates. But
He said that last night clearly.
But if you talk about the bigger picture, that could go both ways. If you're talking about splitting a vote and potentially someone, the incumbent winning again, right? So that could go either way. If one of them concedes and put their support behind the others. I think we've had, but from our experience of having both of them on, they have a lot of good points that they both brought up. Like Manny brought up some stuff that I didn't hear Augusta speak about, but she brought up some stuff that he didn't speak about. And even like just behind the scenes conversations where we were talking about like a lot of different things that we didn't know about. I didn't know about, like about Indian Head and about Nanjamoy. Like it goes more than just what you see on camera. And I think people have to understand that when it comes to politics, it's about more than what you're seeing on camera. You actually got to get out. If they're willing to put themselves out there and to be at these events, talk to them. Have a genuine conversation to see what it is that they're really pushing for to get a better understanding. This race, for me, honestly, I can't call it. I won't call it because they're so different, but they're so passionate about what it is that they are entrenched as far as bettering the community, their communities.
And you know what's crazy? I think those two actually work well together.
Facts.
Like they were both on the board. One was in 2, one was in 4.
Oh, facts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be something to see as far as that. But them in this race together is just, and obviously, man, he's already ran before too as well. It's just it's tough, man. It's tough. And Allie brings up a good point. Thomasina has a lot of money. That money goes a long way, especially in local elections too as well. Let me read some more of these comments up here. Pascal Carlos support for Augusta. And we cleared up that Allie wasn't running, got that one. Sorry, did you say you invited Thomasina? Look, Thomasina deletes her own town halls. Does anybody think she's gonna come? I'd be so shocked if she were to come here, sit down, and take questions from live viewers.
You know, it happened. Hey.
But no, I have not officially reached out to her yet. I have not officially. I wanted to give the incumbents their time in the sun. I want to give them because Thomasina's already a household name. You know what I mean, as far as Charles County, but a lot of these other individuals in here aren't. So gotta do your best to level the playing field somewhat.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. Pascal, breaks my heart they may split the vote. It's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what sucks about it.
A lot of people saying, "Man, we need change." Carlos, we need change. Allie, we need change. She deletes her own town halls. I mean, that's exactly what happened. You can't find the event on Facebook no more. It pains my heart to even reschedule a podcast. I couldn't imagine just hitting the delete button. Okay, so
To Deborah, real quick though. To Deborah, do y'all think it would be a big turnout in the election? Honestly,
That's a good question.
here's the thing though.
That's a good question.
My honest opinion is that's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? On the other side, we just want to give everyone a platform to speak. But we need avenues such as this. And this is why me and Ricky created this, is so that we can get it out there. Something more relaxed. The public can kind of just jump in and tune into. They can look us up on Facebook and YouTube. And they can kind of just see these different things. We hope that people are being more educated as a result of our interviews, and therefore it will potentially lead to a larger turnout because people will feel more inclined to do so. That's what we hope. Will it happen? We would like to say that we could take credit for a larger turnout. Absolutely.
Ollie just brought up a good point though. This primary is going to be in July. That's the middle of summer. Folks going to be off. They're going to be on vacation. So there could be an issue of turnout, at least for the primary. Now, the general, who knows? We know at least the traditional trends are in the midterms. A lot of younger folks don't come out for the midterms. They come out, so that could skew it as well. But with how many times that race has been delayed due to them trying to figure out what they're going to do with the districts, it could be a lower turnout just from where it's placed, but we'll see on election night.
Y'all weighing in. Let's keep going from here. Let's see. Nicole, please get out and vote. Leftwich, good job. Youngs. Leftwich, you're still a young man yourself.
Right.
Deborah, we need commissioners that actually show up to work and for meetings. Hey, absolutely. I know recently Amanda Stewart wasn't at the vote for as far as the budgetary hearing. So it's a 4-0 vote. She was MIA for that one. Those who want to interact with and hear from the community. That's another thing too as well. Hey, get out here, talk to your people. No closed door meetings. Transparency. Come out and talk. It ain't gotta be us. It could be Derek, Terry, it could be anybody. Allie, absolutely. From Dottery, Pascal, I think so. People are more extremely engaged after these past 2 years. I mean, reopen. All the work they've been doing over there too as well. I mean, hell, even us. Popping up on the scene. So. Yeah. Early voting is July 7th to July 14th. Vote early if you want to be in town. Very key. Carlos, vote by mail. Dottery, we are competing with vacation. Hey,
it's the truth.
It is. Definitely is. Derek, absentee or early voting. Very important. Dottery, again, please push the absentee ballot. Ali Rock, the get out the vote strategy must be on point like yesterday. Talked about yesterday, Allie. Nicole, I'm holding a voter registration drive, voter education event in a couple weeks. Nicole, let me know about that. I'll be definitely excited to help you work on that too as well. It's definitely important to get people out to vote. Carlos, absent in office. Carlos, stick around for this next one. Nicole, yeah, agree. Voter education materials have been talking to people about voting for months. So it's all about the educated public.
Yep.
Obviously people aren't happy with the status quo. Absolutely. 6/12. 6/12. What day is that? That's a Sunday. That's a Sunday because I'm supposed to do a podcast on that. We're supposed to do a podcast on that Monday.
13th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Sunday.
It is a Sunday.
Oof. That boy good. All right. So, yeah, it's very important, It's very important. Yeah, Deborah. Thanks for following up on that too as well for Allie. All right. District 3. All right, you got Republican Norris H. Haynes. Familiar?
No, I think that was another designation, if I remember.
Okay, Allie, if you have information on that, let us know too as well. I know I'm voting for Derek Terry. I know I'm voting for, but stuck on one district office. We got Carlos in the chat too as well. Also a friend of the podcast.
Carlos Childs.
Yeah, Linda Dade. You familiar with Linda Dade?
No, that is one person I have not heard from yet either.
Okay, we got Amanda Stewart and Latanya Smalls withdrew. So just want to be clear on that. She withdrew as of April 14th.
Okay, yeah.
So she's she's off that. So, all right, I'm not really sure who Linda Dade is out there either. If anyone's familiar with Linda Dade, please let us know. You can definitely educate us. Carlos Childs. Vote for Carlos Childs. Yeah, for real, really?
Shameless plug. Yeah, I ain't mad at you, baby.
Hey, come on now. You miss every shot you gonna take. Nah, do it. Of course. So this race between Amanda and Carlos, this is the way I look at it. If you want to, please, Darryl, give the news reporting on it.
Well, Carlos was one of the earlier candidates I talked about, and Carlos is one of what I've noticed in the county. There is a groundswell of young, like-minded activists that are coming up and running for office, trying to be the change that they want to see in the county, and that's admirable to see. I'm not saying admirable to see in a bad way. That needs to happen a lot more, in my opinion. So it's good to see that Carlos is, stepping up to the plate, trying to run. And Amanda Stewart's got a big education focus on her side of the equation. So it's going to be an interesting race there as well in District 3 to see who's going to pull that out on July 19th.
Yeah, and that's the thing too as well. Carlos has been working his ass off, going door to door. Carlos, how many doors have you knocked on this election cycle? I'm highly curious about that too as well. I want him to answer that one before I go more into this one, because people talk about Linda Dade a little bit too. Linda Dade. Scroll down. Alley Rock, Linda Dade. Linda's very fun. That's all I know. Linda's at the reopen event. She wore a hat. Was a lot of fun. Hit her up. See if she want to go to PTM sometime. Don't know anything about her as a prospective candidate, though. Derek Terry, I'm picking Carlos. Only because he listens and agrees to disagree and grinding. I seen him get a haircut. Hey, look, that ain't got nothing to do with me, okay?
Hey, wait.
Hey, why?
Hold on.
Sean, is that number real over 5,000? Knocked on Derek's house twice. He was canvassing 95-degree weather, PTM Port Tobacco. Carlos came to my door. I thought he was selling solar. My bad, Carlos.
And you know what's funny? It's funny because he's not just saying that tonight. He said that the last time that Carlos was on there too, though. So I'm starting to believe that Michael, when he says that, he thought he was selling some products.
Let's see. Sean says that number is real. 5,234.
What, like doors?
Yeah, doors he's knocked on. Look, Carlos has been grinding. In the wintertime, he was out there with a coat, knocking on doors. 95-degree heat. Look, this man's out here working. And I'm telling you right now, what did Allie say up here? A man does not have any money. Recycle signs. Photos a decade old. Those signs she has, I have under good authority. Those are the same signs from 2018. It's not there's like a whole lot out here. I know Carlos he just got his signs too as well. You should see those out here. Look, if there's one upset in this whole entire race, I'll pick Carlos over Amanda Stewart.
I can see that.
He's been working. Amanda Stewart has been working at home. Amanda Stewart's been missing for weeks. Her last town hall was in 2020, and it was like 20 minutes over a Zoom.
We're not espousing anything that isn't verifiable.
These are all just facts, ladies and gentlemen. These are all just facts. She was missing. She was the same thing with the vote recently too as well, and she voted for it. The not adopting the constant yield.
Oh yeah, she wasn't present, right?
No, she wasn't present for that. She wasn't even there for it.
Now this is also the same individual. Correct me if I'm wrong. That we were told at one point cut her camera off during one of the town hall meetings, and
people weren't happy about that too as well.
People were unhappy about her being, as far as they knew, not present. So I mean, we're not espousing anything that isn't verifiable, that people have not themselves. Like we're just saying, like these things matter to the public.
I put like this: if Carlos would have knocked only 5 doors, he already did more work than Amanda Stewart this election cycle.
Highly possible.
And that's kind of sad from a sitting commissioner too as well.
But
look, this ain't no disrespect. All right, what we're doing here, we're just telling that how it is. Carlos is working very hard. I'll pick him to win his election. And I don't know what Amanda Stewart and her team are doing over there, but if they're not looking at Carlos as a serious candidate, they're going to have a rude awakening on the night of July 19th. Well, we'll be live, too, as well, with election coverage for that night.
Have we figured out what we're doing?
I don't know. We'll figure out the details for that later, but we'll be live.
Details coming, ladies and gentlemen. Details coming.
Let's read some of these comments here, too, as well. Carlos, real deal. canvas with him last. Yeah, I saw the picture with Sean and Carlos out there working in that heat. I saw y'all was inside the air conditioning. I gave y'all a like though on Facebook.
It was blazing this weekend.
When's she coming to the show? I don't hold your breath. I highly doubt that's going to happen. Having someone in the office who doesn't show up goes against the main purpose of your job. Yeah, and Carlos, I know Carlos will be there. He will be there on the job working. Let's see. Save me a spot on 19th, fellas. Derek Terry, you trying to? Hey, you know what? We can make something happen. BNY headquarters, election headquarters for Charles County. Daughtery, Carlos, you got the canvas on lock, but I'm close behind you. Okay, all right, Daughtery out here working too as well. So yeah, that's it. I mean, the man's working. The man's working hard. I'm not going. Maybe the hardest working one in the hardest working commissioner candidate. I mean, over 5,000 doors. That's a lot. Hope he had a lot of water on Saturday, Carlos. But nah, that's fantastic. And he's always wanted to come on the show too as well. Always want to talk to the people, even people that have asked to reach out to him. I got him in contact with Carlos. He's had multiple conversations with them too as well. So, Nicole, Carlos, who convinced me to canvas. There it is. Let's move on to District 4. So overall, what's your thoughts on the District 4 race? We got Stacey Lynn. We got Ralph Patterson, Bobby Rucci, and that's it. So the Democratic side, obviously, Patterson and Rucci. Yep. Two long-established names in Charles County.
Yeah, those are two big names in the county, Rucci and Patterson. I talked to Pat. I think he was maybe the first candidate that I talked about. So that.
I'm sorry. I'm reading Michael's comments and.
Man put him in timeout.
My bad. I apologize for interrupting you.
Yeah, Ralph has got some good ideas. I'm trying to remember because it's been a little bit since I talked to him. Still trying to connect with Bobby Rucci on his side of the race. But that is a race where not a lot of choice there. So that is more of a focused race between two candidates, and that's as far as Charles County politics is concerned, that's a thoroughbred race between two really big names. I mean, we know where his mom is for Patterson. We know what his mom does. And then Rucci's been there for a while. His family's been big in the county as well. So those are two long-established Charles County names going at it.
Yeah, obviously his mama Edith, too, as well. I mean, the Rucci's, they got a big logo on 301. If you've never seen it, it's the restaurant sitting there. So now this is interesting. I would like to. We talked about Ralph Patterson with the podcast too as well. So if I believe, and Derek Terry, if you want to confirm this, Ralph Patterson, and Derek, you can confirm this. He's a Prince George's County teacher.
I believe so. Yeah.
So I would be concerned if the same issues that Amanda Stewart would have as far as
the letter.
Yeah, that too, as well as like work, be the same thing that can affect Ralph Patterson. There's also Adams. He's getting out of here. It says 4 a.m.
He hung in as long as he could. Hey, thanks, Adam.
We appreciate it, man. Adam. Absolutely. From the UK, baby. Hey, Adam. Oh, that round of applause right there for you. Hey, BNY UK. Who? Expansion.
He's learned so much more about American politics than he knew before today.
Is that.
So now, as far as Rucci Patterson, I want to get Patterson on the podcast. The whole teacher thing is concerning. You know, obviously you can't teach in the same. You said, Adam said you'd be back. Appreciate it. Give the page a like too as well, so you can stay up to date with everything. Definitely thank you for everything you did for us tonight. Yeah, Patterson, we got to get him on here to talk about that and ask him this question too as well.
We reached out.
Yeah.
We've reached out.
That's true. We have reached out. Yeah, we have reached out. Hell, yeah, we already done that.
Sent an email.
Yeah. So. Patterson's been doing the work, hosting meet and greets and doing community events. Great. Can he show up on work when it's time? Can he be there for votes? What if he had a different perspective that day? And his vote was a deciding factor, but he wasn't there, so it's hard. It's hard to vote for. I mean, As a teacher, I can't imagine being able to do both jobs, and that's true too as well. I mean, obviously the demands of a teacher and then also after being a long 9 hours, dealing with the local kids, and then going there and then making budget votes. Are you in the right state of mind to do that? Derek Terry, here it is. He told me he had liberal leave. Teachers don't get liberal leave. Yeah, that doesn't happen. You don't just get to. All right, PG County. I'm going over to do my commissioner job in Charles County. I'll see y'all when. Yeah, I'll be back though.
Y'all got a substitute, right?
Yeah.
Heading out. Peace out.
So I don't. I don't know how that's going to work dealing with big kids and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. So, Rucci. I know Leftwich ain't gonna be too happy with that, but. What you got, Dev? We talked to Rucci recently.
Oh yeah,
You and me.
yeah. We really did at the reopen event, right? Yeah. Talked to Rucci, him and his wife, good people.
I love Diana.
I got to check out the restaurant one day. I haven't been, so I got to check out the restaurant, see how it is.
Okay.
But good people to talk to. I had the opportunity to speak to Ralph as well at another event about a month or so ago. Good guy. That's where we got the info about him being a special needs teacher. You know what I'm saying? And he came off as really passionate about what he wants to do for the county. So I can't knock him there. As far as to Rick's point, the whole, not necessarily a lack of dedication, but the opportunity to be there for the town halls and for these votes, and being a Prince George's County teacher, could that potentially get in the way? Look, there's already an incumbent that's doing it already, and this is her second time. She's already been in office twice. Mm-hmm. So let's not say that that's going to be the deciding factor that's going to keep him out, because clearly people don't have a problem with that happening.
But they need to be more aware of that. If people are more aware of that, they would have a problem with it.
True, potentially. But if you just want to go with the name, you know what I'm saying, as far as who I believe the county may back, it's a close call, but I'll probably have to go with the Rucci's.
The Rucci's. It's like an establishment.
Like the Clintons, baby.
Pascal, I vote for Diana. She was great too, as well.
She was cool, really nice and polite and welcoming. We had a good conversation with her that evening.
This man Derek Terry, May 31st. You keep dropping it over and over here. With no. Hey, you gonna give us some context on that, Derek Terry? You just give a little teaser for what's gonna happen that day. I'm curious. Let's keep it going. All right, so we're going to skip ahead a couple of these races. Races that we're not going to go over here. Actually, no. It's one. I want to get your thoughts on as far as the court circuit.
Okay.
Have you got to talk to any of the candidates?
I did go to the forum that they had, and we got to hear all three of them speak. Sarah Freeman Proctor and Moniece Brown and Adrian Davis. Those are three highly intelligent ladies with decades of experience in the court. Moniece Brown is in a unique position where she just got the position and is already defending it.
Yes.
Judge races are interesting in themselves, just with how they go, where the judges, they're more about judging what's fair than a political party. So the name of whoever's in the position may have the advantage, but Sarah Freeman Proctor and Adrian Davis, one was an attorney. Freeman was actually a assistant state's attorney here in Charles County. There's a really serious case. Of course, the name escapes me now, but that she actually tried. That might give her some name recognition as well. So that is truly a race that could possibly be wide open. I can't pick a winner, but it's probably a wide open race.
Obviously Sarah Proctor, she'll be on the podcast too as well. Yeah. Moniece Brown, she's came on the podcast. She was great. We talked to Sarah Proctor too as well at the Real Events. Yeah, she was great too as well. No, you didn't get a chance to talk to her, did you?
I talked to her.
You did?
Yeah,
we talked to her several times.
There was another event that happened, the Chamber of Commerce event.
Oh yeah, I wasn't there for that one.
Yeah, you weren't there.
Yeah, but Sarah Proctor, great individual too as well. So Pascal vote Judge Brown. Judge Brown's been out here working. Mm-hmm. She just had an event this past weekend too as well. I believe it was Pizza Hotline. I want to say it was this past weekend. Okay. I believe. So yeah, she's and that's what I like to see from my candidates too as well. the social media presence, the events. Hey, pull up. I'm here. I'm available. Come talk to me.
Yep.
Because it goes a long way too as well in office. Also, she said she'll give us a tour, Judge Brown.
This is true.
She said she'll give us a tour.
This is true. She did. She did. We're gonna hold you to that too.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Have you talked to any of the candidates of a judge of the Orphans Court?
Not yet. No.
Okay.
I know the I don't want to call them the undercard races. I know the races that we talked to for folks that the ones that we're focusing on for the articles were the commissioners. We did do sheriff and school board. So those are the three that we have focused in for the articles. And then we're going to do something different for those smaller races.
Yeah, we're getting the sheriff here too as well.
That is a big one.
Yeah, that's because we got Derek Larson coming on here June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's going to be a very interesting. Register of wills. You do anything with that?
No.
Clerk?
No, those are the races we're going to be covering those a little bit differently.
Yeah.
We're going to get those together.
Yeah, for sure. Nicole, Judge Brown is out there. She's working. All right, let's talk about sheriff. Let's go to sheriff. Troy Berry, Derek Larson. What's your reporting on that one?
Well, Troy Berry is the incumbent. He's been doing a lot of work here in the county with the outreach and working with, the youth and really communicating with people. Of course, in the department, he's been working to get things together, like working on trying to get the forensic office going. They've done some things with digital forensics, and of course with tracking down guns. That's been a big conversation the last few years, these ghost guns and everything. So they do have an office there to work with identifying firearms, trying to link them to cases. Larson is he's an outside voice, but he's also got a lot of experience from Metropolitan Police.
30 years, right?
Yeah, 30 years of experience. But the thing with sheriff is that's going to come down to how people view the crime situation. If they view that the Charles County Sheriff's Office is doing a good job, Terry's probably going to stay. If they view that they're not doing a good job, obviously that challenger might have a bigger advantage over the incumbent. But it's really going to matter as far as how did Charles County residents feel? Do they feel that their streets are being protected?
So your opinion, do you cover as far as crime too as well in Charles County, or?
We do a little bit. We obviously have the crime briefs, and then when we have cases, major cases that come up, we do cover those as well. Of course, this is my first year in the county, so trying to get a judge of how serious the issues were, but compared to previous years is a little bit limited. But I can't say that we are in a situation where crime is rampant. We do know that crime is just, unfortunately, part of the society. But as far as is it higher than previous years, that's something I have to look more into.
Let's talk about this right here with the comment section. Pascal, old joke from the Judge Brown podcast. She's gonna let Michael use the judge bathroom. You remember that one from Let us complain about the bathroom in the courthouse. Who do you have for sheriff? Nicole, I want to obviously Derek Larson be on here too as well. So we'll have the podcast with him. Do we have a little more of an idea from there? So not calling that one. Helena Smith, nice comment for Michael Leftwich. Okay, all right. I like to see that. Let's see. Derek Terry talking about Reggie Kearney for orphans. Okay. Derek Terry, don't tell Larson I'll be watching on June 1st. He may drop out. I know that Derek Terry's supposed to do a debate between Larson and Barry, but Larson, based on what I understand, Larson didn't feel like the debate was fair due to Terry and Barry's relationship. So, yeah, so he pulled out of that one.
Okay.
Now, Derek, if I'm wrong, please correct me too as well. Daughtery, elect Sheriff Barry. Leftwich, Larson doesn't do well with communication. Well, he'll be on the podcast, so we'll see. Derek Terry, Charles County solves 90% or more of crimes. What jurisdiction has that? Interesting with the numbers. Interesting with the numbers. Drop an article for that too as well.
Yeah.
Trust but verify. It's also about transparency when it comes to sheriff's candidates, and that's true too as well. Like we said before, I made a post today about transparency when it comes the guests we have on here. I thanked everybody for doing the podcast. People that reached out that are scheduled. Darryl too as well, included in that. It's great to sit here in this comment section, me and Dev, and just have a conversation, just talk to you. So, what do you think, Dev, about this whole thing? Obviously, we got Larson coming up. So, what's your thoughts on it?
Again, to Darryl's point, it's going to weigh heavily on the public's perception of crime in the county. I think that's going to play a huge role if the public is like educated. So let's just say if Derek's point is correct, 90% of crimes are being solved. That's amazing, right? If the public is aware of that, then that would speak volumes about the incumbent, and the public may, ride with that. But if they're unaware, or if those numbers are a little skewed, and the public are aware of that, then that will hey, maybe it's time for something different. So I think this is just like one of those things where education, as I've been saying multiple times tonight, education is going to be key as far as the public goes. We are going to be having Larson on, so I would love to hear what his plan is for crime and for going forward, the future of Charles County. I would love to just reserve judgment to be able to hear what he has to say. You know what I'm saying? Come talk your ish. You coming through, you shaking it up. You know what I'm saying? What plans do you have as far as better than the county on your end as the sheriff? So once that happens, I have a better understanding, then we'll be able to go from there. You know what I'm saying? But until then, what I'm saying, it in my opinion, it's going to rely heavily on the public and their perception of what has actually been happening in Charles County.
There's one thing I will say about this race. Sheriff Barry, has he done a lot of campaigning online or anything of the sort?
Not really that I've seen. I've seen the signs up though.
I haven't seen much either. I know Larson's been going live pretty often too as well. Derek Terry, Barry is good. CCSO responds even with low deputy rate per our population growth, and obviously that's an issue with the department too as well. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what Larson has to say. I'm excited for the podcast, just like any other. But obviously, Sheriff raised him sitting down. There's only two of them. So yeah. But Larson's been whether you feel about his work or not, the man's been active on social media, which is the best way to run campaigns in 2022 and here on out. He'll be on June 1st. He doesn't get paid because he is working. Well, you still need a campaign. That's not an excuse.
When's Larson coming on?
Was that
June 1st?
June 1st, yeah.
June 1st,
June 1st.
Nicole.
Yeah, I just told her that, yeah. Barry's not do social. He's old school. He wants to meet you. Okay. Does anybody... This isn't 1990. I need you to move forward into the future with us.
Let's bring it up a bit.
It's okay. It's okay to go live for 5 minutes. I ain't asking for too much here now, but But it's true that Derek said with the numbers. I like to see that article too as well. But the numbers speak for itself. I mean, that's good. But you still got to show your face to the people. Like Larson was ducking and dodging on Facebook. Well, June 1st, where Darryl's sitting at, he'll be right there. So
he'll be in the hot seat.
They reached out to me too as well. I'll put that out there. So Nicole, I had to crush to meet with him, but he did not meet with me. Hey, everybody, June 1st, we'll need you here.
June 1st, you guys are welcome. You already know you all are welcome to be in the comment section. We've locked it in at this point, barring anything unfortunate happening. June 1st, BNY is going to be here. We're going to be interviewing him, and you guys are welcome to be in that comment section, as you all are our dedicated contributors. Come ask away. He'll be here.
Carlos makes a good point. If we want to reach new or younger voters, you need a canvas and do social media. Yeah. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be Barry out there knocking on doors.
Oh, she was talking about Barry now.
Oh. I had a question to meet with him. Okay. I was talking about Barry. I had a meeting with him, but he did not meet with you. Interesting.
Yeah.
I need some more background about that, too, as well. Like, was it a scheduling conflict? I don't want to just throw the man under the bus. I'm not sure. EMIT has a Facebook. I'm going to ask my mayor, Barry. All right, so Darryl, let's get the board of education. The moment that half y'all been waiting for it too as well. It's like 100 people running for board.
Oh my God, there's so many folks, and I'm gonna try to remember them all. And there's some folks I'm still trying to get to. There's a lot of folks, and like I spoke to at the beginning when it comes to education, there's a lot of change coming. That board is also changing because now it's 2 from each district, and then there's gonna be the 1 at large. So it's a lot more people, a lot more opinions on how things are gonna be done, but that is going to be a really, really tough race for anybody to call, especially the fact that a lot of the vast majority of the incumbents are just not coming back.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was talking to a Battle Lockhart. She's interested in doing the podcast.
Yeah, I mean
I hit her up the other day.
Comment section, right?
Yeah, I hit her up the other day too as well. Okay. She's look, that's transparency for you. There you go. Yeah. Ain't hard to drop that. So yeah, and get her thoughts on her way out. She's obviously not running again. But yeah, we had Sean on here. We've had Nicole on here too as well.
Spoken to
Zach Ball.
Them as well. I've spoke to Zach Ball. He's a good guy. Yeah,
he was solid. Yeah, solid work. Chino Walters reached out to him, going to the podcast. I think he did Derek Terry's, but as long as doing somebody's work out here, that's good. Yep. Obviously, David Hancock, he's the incumbent too as well. Lucas too.
Yep.
Thomas, she reached out about the podcast. I need to follow up with her too as well. Julie Brown, she's we have a date for her too as well.
Yeah.
June, what did I tell her? June 21st? June 21st, I believe. I'm just going through it. Jason Henry, he ran as is that the same individual ran as commissioner?
I do not remember off the top of my head. I do not know.
It's a while ago. You hot? You need some air? We're good?
No, I'm good. I'm fine.
Good? Temperature good? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think it's the same Jason Henry. If somebody knows, please give us some information about that one. Yes. Thank you, Derek Terry.
Okay.
Thank you, Derek. It's so many candidates here. Obviously, Darryl Butler, Washington.
There's so many. They're all Daughtry, I got to talk to her. She is a character. Daughtry's great. I think that's what I'm going to say with that. They're all great. All the candidates are, to be honest. I don't really have I live in Prince George's County, so I don't get a vote when on July 19th. But whoever gets picked for that school board, that is the one group. No matter who comes out of that, I think everybody's kids are going to be in good hands. Now, there's a lot of opinionated hands that are coming and a lot of passionate hands that are coming, but they're all united in one goal, obviously, of trying to help these schools come out of this pandemic stronger than ever and deal with this blueprint, because that is the big flashing warning sign for next school year coming in that's looking at everybody, everything that's to do with this blueprint going forward.
There it is. Other names, obviously, you got Charles in here with District 3. You got Nicole too as well. He's been on the podcast. Andre Kinsey, I'm looking at District 3. Bob Poor. Have you talked to any of these individuals?
I've talked to most of the people that we've named so far.
Okay.
So
Richard Wallace.
Yes, that name sounds familiar.
Okay. In District 4, we got Andre Griggs.
I've reached out, but have not connected yet.
Yeah, Leftwich, who you talking? The only one running in we got Moore too as well. Moore Lee, District 4, and Linda Warren. Moore Lee, she was at the reopen event, I think. I didn't get a chance. I thought I saw her there. Allie, anyone but Lucas is my PAX. Anyone but Mike Lucas is my PAX platform. Oh man, look, the older dude running District 4 Slayers. I have no idea what he's talking about. Yeah, these races are so many people running.
There's so many you can't call them.
And the thing is that I love to get a lot. We would love to get so many on the podcast, but the man to be look.
There's so many folks, and there's just so many folks. There's no other way to put it. A lot of folks see what's going on in education, and I wonder. This maybe have something I might have to think about for a future story. The things that parents saw during the pandemic, that may have spurred a lot of people to come in, because as we talked about at the beginning of the show, these kids are hurting from what happened with this pandemic. That's not an opinion. That is Maryland State Department of Education certified fact as far as how these kids are doing, at least educationally. And we've heard the stories of how they've been, socially and mentally. And there's a lot of folks that have ideas on how to fix it, and they took this opportunity to step up and run for school board. So for all those folks, win or lose, I applaud you for stepping up and looking after these kids, because they need some folks in their court right now. I mean, and even going forward, because as I said earlier, those lapses that just happened for those 15 months, it's not just that's going to go away. That's going to follow them every step of the way, probably into college and beyond at this point. And there's going to be studies done about these kids and how that 15 months out of school affected them. And I'm interested to see what those studies look like 10, 20 years down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very excited about that too as well. When I was excited about it, but I'm extremely forward to it and see what we made right turns, wrong turns too as well. Something to learn from. Ali Rock, school board races are most important. There's a lot of wrong decisions made by the pandemic by the current board. It hurt the most vulnerable students for life, and that's true too as well. That's very true. You've done a lot of work with the House of Delegate candidates.
I have worked with. Obviously we haven't done stories for them for the election, but I have talked to them during the MGA session and during other events as well. So as far as the incumbents are concerned, and that is a group that has set themselves up to be, as far as the delegates, very powerful in MGA with where they are set up as far as their appointments to boards. I know C.T. Wilson is the chair of, I believe, the Appropriations Committee, and then we've got Deborah Davis, who's running the Southern Maryland Legislative Delegation. So those are incumbents that have been working hard. They've been trying to bring money back to Charles County. That's going to play well for a lot of people. Now, one thing that might concern folks is what happened with the gas tax and the fact that didn't come back. I wonder if that'll come back to bite Democrats a little bit. But those races, as far as state level, at least from my years voting, those seem to be very incumbent favored, I guess is the lack of a better term to put it, where those people tend to get in and then just sit, or they get this position and then they come back unless something really bad happens. But of course, I can't pick who I think's going to win. But those are some really good folks on the House side. And then of course you've got Ellis and Jackson on the Senate side. I know Jackson had some bills that ruffled some feathers during this MGA session. I wrote about the situation with SB 136 that didn't really go anywhere. And then Senator Jackson covers Calvert and Charles as well. So, of course, Susie Proctor also has a part of Charles as well for the legislative delegation on the delegate side of things. So those races are going to be ones to watch. I know those are important as far as people try to use them as barometers of how the federal races are going to go. Got to get into a little bit with the candidates that are outside the incumbents running. We are working on some articles there where we're going to try to get some comments from everybody that are running in that. So look for that in a future edition of Southern Maryland News. But those state level races are going to be, they're usually based on what they did up in Annapolis. And you saw there's been a lot of change for climate change, or a lot of bills for climate change that got passed this session. We also have the marijuana referendum that is coming up that got through. That's going to be one to watch. And also people look at a lot of the money that was brought back from the county, from the state, and we see a lot of money for parks and amphitheater coming to Waldorf. I think one group got $3 million as well. I forgot what that project was for off the top of my head. Okay. But that was in a couple of in a different bill than just the what they do with, oh my God, now the term is missing me, but from the bonds, sorry, that was separate of the legislative bond initiatives. But there's a lot done. It was a successful session up in Annapolis, and hopefully that'll carry or some folks to wins, but we'll see. I can't really pick them, but it's going to be interesting to see what the public thinks.
I'm not about to pick them either. There's a lot of names in here. Edith Patterson, Marquita too as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was supposed to be on the podcast, but we actually double booked for that day by accident. That's how I got Chris Shea Show on the podcast that day. Yeah. That's how that whole thing went down. So no, but they'll be. We talked. Everything's good. Her and Michelle Talkington. Definitely looking forward to getting on the podcast sometime after the July primaries. But no, this is a race I'm looking forward to. Thank you for the insight on that. Yeah. That was great.
I see Allie mentioned something about the gas tax holiday.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so that I remember that was the MGA voted against extending that gas tax holiday, and then of course there's a raise in the gas tax for July 1st. So more pain in the pump, unfortunately, coming. Unfortunately, that's the problem with the gas prices. The tax does affect it, and then there's also the outside factors. There's this big Ukraine-sized shadow over the oil market right now with everything going on over there. That has to that's got to get settled soon, because that's going to be affecting a lot more than just oil. I know there's grain markets that they're talking about that could be affected by that as well. And then, of course, Ukraine's economy obviously is in the tank right now because they're fighting a war. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot going on over there that's going to start affecting global markets, including us at home. They do a lot of farming in Ukraine, so it's a lot of grain. Yeah, and if they can't send that, if they can't send any of that out, that's just going to send the global grain and wheat prices up, which means we're going to start paying a lot more for our breads and our cereals, and that's a lot of things in the grocery aisle, and we're already feeling the price hikes as it is.
You might get a box of Fruity Pebbles for $11.
Woo! Pascal mentioned
I love my Fruity Pebbles.
Marijuana legislation. That is a referendum. So I believe that's going to be in the general, the vote for that.
I'm looking forward to that one. Zach Ball, what's going on with you too as well? Unfortunately, the grain shortages are going to hurt the third world more than anyone else. We'll pay more if they won't eat, and that's very true.
That is the sad part of all of that.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Ali Rock, of course, our food and energy policies could be stable if we brought production here.
That's been a problem for decades. Mm-hmm. That is not just a 2020 problem. I think everybody has been saying that for years. I know as far as
outsourcing jobs.
Yeah. Outsourcing jobs and everything. I know as far as oil, we export a lot. There is a question maybe keeping some of that at home. And then, of course, farmlands, got some smaller farms that are falling by the wayside, but there's also exporting that goes with that. Maybe you could keep some of it at home, but of course, with the globalized economy, the way things are, unfortunately, these companies, the way they look at stuff, they're trying to make money from all markets, not just here. But of course, there's no solace to the person that's going to the grocery store and seeing their bill go up, like what we've been doing with the inflation story, because that bill's just going up and up and up.
Need to change in direction.
Yeah.
Change in leadership. Mindset.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do two more, and that's that. State Senator. Have you talked to? Are you familiar with that race at all, as far as Ellis, Talkerton, and Sims?
I've spoken to. Well, I speak to Ellis on the trail, or not on the trail when he's working. So, as I said, Ellis is junior senator. He's been around for a couple of years now. I know there was a couple of bills that may have ruffled some feathers this year. I know with SB 136 and whatever went on with College of Southern Maryland trying to possibly make the La Plata campus into Charles County Community College. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that bill did not go anywhere. That bill had staunch opposition, even from the commissioners themselves here in Charles County. So that bill didn't go anywhere. But Ellis is he's passionate, and he is he's gonna let you know how he feels. So he's gonna wear it on his sleeve. Whether or not that's a good thing depends on how you look at things. I'm not too familiar with the folks that are also running in that race, but we are planning on doing something a little bit different with those state races for senator. We're going to try and get comments from all three and put that in one story so everybody can see that and get a little bit better knowledge of who's running for those races.
Right. I mean, Ellis is he's the incumbent.
Yeah.
I want to take him to go forward in that race against Michelle Talkington. We met Michelle several times.
Yeah.
Wonderful individual. Yeah.
No issues there.
Yeah, big family.
Doing a lot in the community as well.
Businesswoman.
Yeah.
Yeah, successful. Yeah, Michelle's great. Definitely look forward to having her on the podcast. Allie, about Michelle Talkington. Yeah, Michelle is really cool. I like Michelle a lot. Pascal, that marijuana vote could be a new tax revenue stream. Good. Absolutely. Come on now. Deb, you got anything else on that delicate race?
No, pretty solid. Like you said, I had the pleasure of speaking to Michelle Talkington quite a few times. Good individual, good head on her shoulder, very passionate. She was at a reopen event. She kind of, she really inspired people. So I don't really have either way. Like I said, I just enjoy speaking with her and her platform, and kind of she's very passionate about what she does. But as far as who's going to win, I honestly can't call it.
Yeah.
Last one, House District 5. I'm gonna just go on record here and say that I think this is Stinny's race. The man's been around for 40 years. I don't see him losing it at this point.
On the federal level, incumbents tend to stay unless it is federal races are the ones that we aren't really. We've stopped state level, so federal's something that we probably won't be having. We will cover the results, obviously, but it's not something we're writing up for the paper. But from what it looks like in federal, the incumbents tend to stay. It's really one of those where the incumbents just kind of they get in there, they get entrenched, and barring major catastrophe, they don't leave. Now, of course, I'm not picking Stinny to win. One, I can't, and two, who knows? We know that there are some feelings about the federal Democratic Party, of course, that are negative, and that might change who gets out, but we'll see on November.
Yeah, I understand that he may be retiring. I've heard a rumor that after this next cycle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was retiring, so that's just a rumor that I've heard. But I mean,
he's been there a while.
Yeah, over 40 years.
Yeah.
We've had Michaela on the podcast too as well. I don't know if you had a chance to talk to her yet.
I've actually seen her in person. She's pretty cool. She's been at a couple of events. She's actually at one of the excuse me, one of the school board forums.
Oh yeah. Okay. Chris Palumbi.
Yep.
We've all talked to him too as well. Yeah, we've had to reschedule that one. Yeah, he had an event to go to for the family, so obviously understand that. So yeah, I don't really have. I mean, this race would be really interesting if Stinny had retired, and this race was wide open.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, I don't know. Yeah. Right. But like I said, incumbents, federal is just. At that point, we're just looking at the history and going from there.
Yeah.
So, I know some Michaela supporters in here too as well. Pascal, Carlos, I see y'all. Allie, Stinny's district got slightly more competitive after the redistrict. Long shot for someone new, but I'm ever hopeful. I don't know. That name Hoyer in Maryland is just synonymous.
Synonymous.
It's almost half a century. That man's been entrenched, like you said. So
name recognition means something in federal level.
Yeah, he does a lot for the community down there, especially like Pax River. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. I don't even know if someone's going to come in and just wipe that out. With that being said, it's not unheard of.
It's not.
But gotta get out there and do the work. All right. He doesn't even win his own county. Yeah, that's true. But District 5, it just spreads out so much. So yeah, Pascal's be tough to beat him. It is. Yeah, that's a namesake in American politics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you say good things, bad things about it, but I mean, 40 years. What's that? Over 20 elections.
Yep.
It's every 2 years.
Yeah. The name is there.
Shit. All right. Well, that's all we have for here.
All right.
Darryl, we appreciate your time, man.
Thank you so much for having me on. This is a lot of fun, and I would love to come back sometime. So
thanks.
Hey, I tell you what, we closer to election, we're gonna need you on here too as well.
All right. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Make sure you bring some tea next time. Hey, definitely.
No, but definitely thank you for it. Any last few things on your mind you want to get off?
I just want to say thank you, everybody, to coming out. If you want to talk talk to me on Twitter. I'm at Darryl SOMD News. And, of course, Thursdays, I'm talking about racing at 8 o'clock. That is the Extra Mile on Spreaker.com/IE Sports Radio. So thank you all so much. Thank you two for having me on, and have a good night, everybody.
Absolutely. Deborah, thank you, Darryl. Thank you, Rick and Dev. Zach Ball, Darryl, finally nice to put a face to the name.
Thank you.
So absolutely. Dev, we'll be back on Wednesday.
Woo!
3 podcasts in 4 days. Out here grinding.
Get a day off, and we back at it again on Wednesday, baby.
Charles, can we get 1 day off? Is that fine?
Let us know how y'all really feel.
Like Michael Clark Duncan from the Green Mile.
I just needed 1 day off, boss.
I'm tired, boss.
I said tired.
Oh, man. But we've stick around for a little bit, too, as well.
Course,
and discuss and go from there.
We talk what we talk.
So, real quick, next 2 podcasts, we got the bus drivers coming in. Actually, we want to take a look at that, too, if you can.
Okay.
And you may be interested in actually talking to them, too, as well, the bus driver movement and the things they're trying to do for Charles County.
Okay.
And then thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for the warm words and comments. And also Derek Larson, June 1st, too, as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, look out for that. We go from there. Rest after the primary. Damn. Working just as hard as Carlos.
Yeah, facts.
Man, let me go knock on my own door in my house. Let's go and get out of here. Go and put that Bonaparte to let us out. We'll see y'all.
1.
What's going on with you?
Yo, another day in the lab, baby. So it's always a good day.
Oh,
it's always a good day when we in the lab. You want policing to be better in your communities? The best policing that you can that can happen in any community are people that's actually from the community and that.
Once again, Rick, host BNY podcast, now known as What Happened Week with BNY. Dev, how you feeling, man?
I'm in here.
It's good comment section.
Yeah.
Do we drag our people down when sometimes they don't deserve it? For sure, absolutely. In this situation, this man deserves every single dragging that we can do because this is not an example of us.
But you got the angles. You got the knowledge of the game, bro.
This is where you're getting at, the IQ.
Down. Like he's telling you what's going on. How he was a bad husband. How he was just doing things his way. He's apologizing to his wife like, yo.
Pat ourselves on the back for that one because if you ain't giving yourself awards, I mean, who is?
Yeah, no more.
Hey.